Good evening and welcome to Windsor Stadium, the site of OFC playoff action here on we-tv.ca. Good evening, everybody. My name is Dominic Papa. Joining me on the AKO Kickoff pregame show, of course, our OFC analysts, Adam Morrison, Joel Manerick. Throw everything out the door. The regular season is done and over with. It's the second season, the most important season, and the AKO Fratmen come in with a 7-1 record, and they're taking on their arch rival from just up the highway 401, the London Beefeaters. The Beefeaters come in at 4-4, the number 4 seed in the OFC, and guys, this is exciting. This is what we work for all season long, and we get to this postseason. Home field is what AKO wanted. They got it, but I'll tell you what, this London Beefeater team, their record is 4-4. They're in fourth place overall in the regular season, but this isn't a fourth place team.
No, I mean, right off the bat, you already said it. It's time to throw it all out. This is the playoffs, right? Everyone's been working to this point, and, you know, by obviously the looks of the last game there, we clearly know this is not a 4-4 team in the way they finished this season as well, especially having the pivot in the quarterback they have right now. We're looking forward to a pretty, I think, dynamic game today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely a different team that was here earlier in the year as opposed to what's coming here tonight. So AKO's got to be ready to play their A game tonight.
Mm-hmm. Talk about the regular season with these guys, and again, go back to a couple of weeks, guys, where a game in London at TD Waterhouse, the Beefeaters really hand it to the Fratmen, 37-0. The game is protested. The Fratmen win that protest. How much of that game lingers here tonight?
You know, I think it's got to linger in the minds, in the back of the minds of the AKO players and coaches, even though, you know that there was a protest and there was an eligible player play on that side, but to be dominated 37-0, that's pretty tough to come back from just a couple weeks later. Not that they can't, but they have to get over that hurdle for sure.
I mean, to add to that, Dom, I mean, it was a loss.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big loss. I don't care who you are, what team it is, to come back from that and play that team, I guess 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's tough for anyone, and that, let alone someone. I mean, clearly AKO must not have had their head in the game from the start. So hopefully we see something different from the start. I think the indication is going to be the start,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, yeah.
Speaking of in the heads, does that game stick out a little bit? Is that part of the, I guess, that hurdle that you're talking about, Joe, for the Fratmen, that they have to get that game put out mentally and just refocus and get into this one?
For sure, but unfortunately, we've seen that a couple times this year where they've started out slowly and we're being taken to school with by Ottawa earlier in the year, and they had to come back in that fourth quarter. So maybe it caught up to in that game where they let the game get out of hand at first, and their defense wasn't able to get them back into the game like they did earlier in the season. If that happens again tonight, they're in big trouble.
I have to say, from a player and a coach's perspective, it has to. There's no way that doesn't stick in your head. Like I said, a loss is a loss, protest or not.
All right. These two teams, of course, met twice during the regular season. One of those games we just spoke about, the 37-0 game. The other game saw Windsor, I believe, winning that game, of course, back here at Windsor Stadium. I believe that was in week 3 of the schedule. So an even record. Two different teams now entirely, though, compared to those first couple of weeks. And coming into this game, is there any one team that has an edge? Do you give it to AKO because they got the home field, or do you give it to London because of that 37-0 game?
I think if you look at those two teams, that team that played here earlier in the year and lost 27-14, if you would have told me 5 weeks later that they would have beat AKO 37-0, I would have said you're crazy, because they could do barely anything on offense. They got their points off of turnovers, and that change at quarterback has done wonders for London. And and AKO still playing with the same quarterback that played earlier. It's hit and miss with him. So he's definitely got to be on tonight.
What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I think as well. I mean, we're going to see, although there's a home field advantage, which everyone wants and strives for, I think the incremental growth that we've seen probably at this time has been a little bit greater on the London side towards the end of the season. But again, we're some hometown people. I'm always rooting for the Frat. So.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. The AKO victory, by the way, in week number 3, I believe it was 27-14. On September 6th, that game was played, so that was the victory for the Fratmen back then. Let's take a look at, there's a look at the scoreboards from the first 2 games between these two teams. Let's take a look at the OFC standings, the final regular season standings, and see how it all shook up, or how it all played out anyways. And of course, AKO won first place, a 7-1 record. Ottawa did finish second at 7-1, but of course, when those two teams met in the earlier part of the campaign. And we talked about it then, the importance of that game, how it could play a role in the long run. And you look back at it now, that's the tiebreaker right there, and that gives AKO the home field advantage. So very important game. Hamilton finishes 6-2, and then you see London with a 4-4 record. Then you got the GTA Grizzlies and the Tri-City Predators, both with a victory each. I guess really no surprises when it was all said and done with the regular season standings?
I don't think so much. There was some question maybe a few weeks ago with Burlington and London with that individual player played against Burlington. I'm not sure how that played out. That could have flipped the tide and had Burlington in that 4th spot, which would have done AKO much better than them having to play London tonight.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that shook down a little bit differently than I anticipated was Ottawa. I mean, Ottawa really came out this year and put a good foot forward. Obviously, beating Hamilton, things like that. So that's the only shake-up. Other than that, I think it was pretty. Let's say status quo, what we expected.
Well, yeah, status quo, but maybe a little bit finishing ahead of Hamilton, and they get home field advantage. But just same, I mean, it's a quality program up there in Ottawa, and I know we only got to see them the one time here. We saw some good things with that team, and that's going to be a team that's going to be tough. And we'll get into that Hamilton-Ottawa game in just a moment, a little bit later here on the pregame show. But a quality team up there.
Oh, I think so too, and I think for years to come, they're going to have a good program, putting out some good quality games there. And you know what? That's what we all want. We're all here to see good games. We're not here to see people dominate as much as we want the hometown a lot of times. It's nice to see a good quality game.
And the thing last time that we saw Ottawa, they were suffering a lot of injuries along the offensive line and a couple other places. So obviously they've been able to shore up those areas and finish off the season 7-1.
Of course, they came in the same day too as well. They drove that long bus ride. Played a football game. That's got to be tough to do. I would imagine if it comes down to a playoff game, they're coming in the night before.
And they better.
And get the, well, it only makes sense. You want to give your guys a fair chance to win a football game. The other thing, I guess, with the regular season guys, Burlington. I want to go back to them for just a moment. They had a chance to protest the game, and it didn't come. They didn't. They chose not to. May have cost them a playoff spot or not. I was a little surprised, actually.
Well, you never know what might happen in the background. You never know if there's any financial trouble that they might not afford to be able to make the travel down here for that game. You'd hate to think that might be that play into effect, but it's possible that could be why. Otherwise, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to win. Obviously, you want to win every game on the field, but if there's an opportunity to get that W, I think you look at it.
Yeah, and I think any team in the league, I mean, they're competitive enough. They want to win. There had to be some sort of, like Joe was saying, an underlying reason to that. I mean, or else, you know what, they'd be in the playoffs or they'd be playing for a team. So there's got to be something going on there. All
right. So we've taken care of the standings. We're going to go outside to the field. And, of course, that's where we have our hardworking Becca Luden. She's got Coach Valvaludis of the London Beefeaters. Becca?
Thanks, guys. I'm here on the sidelines with Coach Vuvalidis of the London Beefeaters. Now, everything that went on a couple weeks ago in the regular season, how important is that to put it behind you, and what difficulties do you face with that?
Oh, no, it's behind us. Right now, it's a semifinal game between two good football teams. Windsor is extremely well coached, and they're a great football team. So it's all about the game today. That's about it.
Now, you did have a couple roster changes due to the outcome. So do you feel that your team is playoff ready?
Oh yeah, no excuses. No, if we're ready to play and we'll give it our best today, no questions asked.
Now, the last time that you met up with AKO, despite the forfeit, you guys handled their offense pretty well, shut them out. So what do you have to do to duplicate that performance?
Well, I think we were pretty fortunate, though, in that game. If you look at the film, we looked at it quite a bit. Windsor moved the ball pretty well on us, and, we were fortunate to get some turnovers. So it by no means, we don't expect any game like that. We're hoping to keep it close, early, because I know, Windsor is such a strong team, and they're so strong at home. So, we just hope to be in the game.
And now, where is this game won and where is it lost for you guys?
It's going to be one up front, I think, on both teams. Their O-line, their O-line, and they've got a great running game. And, versus our defense, I think that's going to be the challenge. Both O-lines, both D-lines. And, most football games are won there.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Have a good game.
Thank you very much.
That's everything from down here on the sidelines. I'll send it back to the guys in the studio.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot, Becca. You can see a little breezy out there, and the weather conditions are outstanding for tonight's game, though. I'll tell you what, nice and warm, beautiful day here in southwestern Ontario. So I don't think from that standpoint there would be any issues weather-wise in this contest. Speaking of the London Beefeaters, the AKO Fratmen, here's the tail of the tape, so to speak. Here's how it all shakes down. In the two games against each other, these are what the numbers look like. And pretty even in a lot of areas, but you know what? You look at yards passing, and London really has a very distinct edge, and I think that's where you really have to wonder, or you have to really think that the AKO running game really has to be on target right away and be a factor in this game.
Yeah, controlling the clock, keeping the London offense off the field is going to be key. As far as London goes, protecting the quarterback. Obviously, in that second game, they were able to do that and able to get some passing yardage and touchdowns off of it. They're looking at their passing 68%. I don't think they were anywhere near that in that first game, so they were pretty on target in that second game.
I think that's right. That's going to be the key for London is definitely protection. I mean, if they can average that 68, 70% pass percentage, I mean, we can definitely see some dynamic things happening. And again, as you mentioned, AKO, it's as we always do. We got to run the ball. We got to control the clock.
And here's the rest of the stats. Again, interceptions, and you look at Fratmen have thrown 5 interceptions. The total fumbles. London coughing up the ball quite a bit in the 2 games. The one stat that stood out to you two guys, the penalty yardage in the 2 games, quite a significant number. And penalties, again, I mean, you talk about discipline. This is the time of year where you have to be very disciplined.
Yeah, you see that, AKO's had 25 penalties, and they have a little bit more penalty yardage, so, they're getting a little bit more of those 10, 15-yard penalty varieties as opposed to the 5-yarders that maybe London's getting.
Well, I can tell you, the one thing that it indicates to me is that this is a true rivalry. And there's some true bad blood between the players, and I'll tell you what, 52 penalties over 2 games is a little out there. So hopefully they rein it in today, and they can play a clean game today.
No, a little bit of nastiness going on out there. That's right. For sure. We're going to go back outside. Our Becca Luden has the head coach of the Windsor AKO Fratmen, Mike Lachance. Let's go back out to Becca.
Thanks, guys. I'm now here on the sidelines with head coach Mike Lachance. So you got a chance to rest some players last week. What importance does that have coming into tonight?
Yeah, it's huge because we were banged up. We had a couple guys banged up. Devin Kozar was probably the biggest one, all-conference left tackle and offensive lineman of the year. Had a high ankle sprain, and we were hoping to get him back this week. He's had a good week of practice, and it looks like he's ready to go.
And now you guys have accomplished one goal. You've got the home field advantage for the playoffs. What do you do to keep the guys hungry and not get ahead of themselves working on that next goal?
I don't need to do anything to keep this team hungry. They're real hungry. They didn't like the way last game went against London, and they're ready for a little retribution.
Now, despite what happened in London, they did shut down your offense. So what concern does that have tonight?
Yeah, we didn't have any luck scoring, that's for sure. We had 21 first downs, which is a ton of first downs in a game that you lose, and in particular, the game that you don't score many points. We just can't make mistakes. It was on us. I mean, they're a great team, but sooner or later, we've got to play our game. And if we play our game today, we'll be in good shape. If not, they'll move on.
Now, I asked Coach Vuvalidis the same question, so I'm going to throw it at you as well. Where do you win and lose this game tonight?
I think we win or lose this game just by taking care of the football on offense. If we can take care of the football, we're going to be in good shape. If we don't take care of the football, we're going to put their offense in good positions, and we'll put our defense in a precarious position of being in the red zone. So take care of the football, flip the field with good punting, and we'll be in good shape.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach, and good luck tonight. That's everything from down here on the sidelines. Back to the guys in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Becca. Great stuff. And you guys called it. And Coach Lachance said it himself. Protecting the football, controlling that ball tonight. And that's going to be huge here this evening.
Yeah, in every game that's the case. But unfortunately, this year, we've talked about turnovers almost every game, I think, that we've done on this broadcast. So it's better well said than done.
And I was going to say, I mean, yes, in every football game, in all instances, that's what you want to have happen. That's what you want to do is control the ball. But again, we haven't seen that. We've seen that spotty, up and down type of play. So hopefully today we get some first downs, we get the ball moving, and we control that and protect the ball.
All right, good stuff, guys. We're going to take a quick timeout here on the AKO Kickoff pregame show. When we come back, we'll check the out-of-town game, the other semifinal action up in Ottawa, and we'll also look for the keys to the game here tonight from our analysts. You're watching the AKO Kickoff pregame show on we-tv.ca.
Imagine a place to climb, to tumble, to fly, to run, to glide, to achieve, where a sense of health, friendly competition, and growth all come together. Can you imagine that place, that destination? We have, and we're building it right now in Windsor. With a planned development of almost 200,000 square feet of athletic playground, and that's just on the inside. Central Park Athletics, some of it's already here, The rest is coming soon. Imagine that.
Welcome back to Windsor Stadium, the site of the AKO Kickoff pregame show, also the site of OFC playoff football action here on we-tv.ca. Dominic Papa, along with our in-studio analysts Adam Morrison and Joel Monerick. The AKO Fratmen set to do battle with the London Beefeaters, and it's going to be an awesome
Welcome to Windsor Stadium for Ontario Junior Football Conference semifinal action between the home Windsor AKO Fratmen and the visiting London Beefeaters. Joining me tonight calling the game here on WeTV is Joe Malarnick. Joe, welcome.
Thanks, buddy. Good to be here.
And just to give our fans a little bit of a update on what's happening here, the visiting team at 4-4 London traveled down the 401 to Windsor Stadium on a beautiful fall night to take on the first place 7-1 Windsor AKO Fratmen. A couple quick comments on what you expect from the game, please, Joe.
Well, it's always going to be a physical game when London and Windsor play in any sport, so we're looking at that. I think both teams are going to play on the edge, and the key will be who can stay on the right side of that edge.
And as you can see in our screen right now, there's the referees. Number 7 is Jeff Day. I believe he's from the Hamilton area. They brought in a couple out-of-towners for this semifinal action. Number 131 is the umpire, Charles Pomerlow. Head linesman is number 11, Trevor Hayes. Pat McCreary is our line judge. He's wearing number 15 today. John McDonald is our field judge, and he is in number 4. John Dodson will serve as the back judge, number 73. Joe Cooper is the side judge, number 9. And now is a screenshot of our coin toss, and we're just moments away from the opening kickoff. And we're going to throw it down to Becca Luden, our sideline analyst, for a quick talk.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here on the sidelines. The best seat in the house for tonight's semifinal matchup. I'm pretty excited. Haven't been back for a playoff game at this stadium since high school, so it's pretty exciting for me as well. Almost perfect weather for a football game tonight. A little bit windy, which could affect London's passing game. I know head coach Mike Lachance was talking about it earlier, as well as Coach Morency saying that they wanted to run the ball more. The defense has been in film all week in order to work on stopping Josh Beach, the Offensive Player of the Year. He had 444 passing yards last game against AKO with no pressure on him, so hopefully AKO will be able to stop that tonight. But I'm going to send it back up to the booth for the first quarter.
Thanks, Becca, for that information, and she'll be bringing us a live information throughout the game, throughout each quarter here on we-tv.ca. And we're about to have the opening kickoff, and after the coin toss, what you're going to see is the Windsor AKO Fratmen kicking with the wind to the visiting Beefeaters.
Yeah, AKO won the toss. They chose to defer, and then London chose to receive the ball.
And if you are at all a football fan, you will appreciate the fact that defending an end and the wind will likely be a factor today. Temperature is actually gorgeous. It's probably in the mid-50s tonight. Unusually or unseasonably warm this time of year. However, the wind is going to be a factor, but we do not expect a single drop of water as the skies are completely clear.
KO will be number 18, Stephen Schott.
And Steven Schott's going to start the game off for us, waiting for that opening whistle as the Fratmen line up their kickoff coverage unit. And the kick is away. Deep for the Beefeaters. Looks like it's number 24. And that is Travis Ryan, who works his way up the right hash, finds a couple nice blocks and crosses the 30-yard line and works his way to about the 32-yard line for a 1st and 10 scrimmage for the Beefeaters.
Yeah, nice return by London out there. Good coverage by AKO. Tackle on the play by number 39, Kenny Allen.
1st and 10 for the Beefeaters on the 33-yard line.
I'm sure we will discuss this rivalry throughout, but there's a few wrinkles to it this year that have added to it, Joe, and we'll allude to it as we get through our broadcast. But the whistle has been blown in, and we're going to see the first offensive play from the visiting Beefeaters. As they set to the line, they're going to be in a 3-by-2 set with the quarterback number 9, John Beach, by him. Right to his left is the running back. Motioning towards the line of scrimmage, shotgun snap. Ball is set and instant pressure, and he is collapsed on by a multitude of Fratmen. It looked like led by number 99, Slickbore, and number 40, Dalton Wilkinson.
Yeah, both those players collapsed that right side of the offensive line, got in there very quick. Beach had no time to find a receiver. It was interesting that London came out with trips to the boundary and looked to go there. But, no time to throw the ball. That's going to be key for AKO throughout this game.
Now we're bringing up a second and very long, which I know for sure the Beefeaters didn't want. You once again line up in a 3-by-2 set to the boundary side, as mentioned by Joe. Low snap. Beach has to scramble. He's under some heavy pressure. The ball gets thrown out, and it is indeed caught for first down yardage by number 18, and that is David Nkusuma.
That's outstanding play by Beach to escape that pressure and able to keep his eyes focused downfield and find a receiver coming back to the ball.
And once again, they came out in that boundary side overload, which likely is going to mean they're going to try to get something vertical and then something coming right to the sideline. But once again, they're 3-by-2 to the boundary side. Shotgun snap, Beach looking to his left, throws it instantly deep to the flat, and it is intercepted, and that is number 6, Jake Nicoletti.
Yep, big play Jake comes up again. He's had numerous big plays all the year this year for the Fratmen, and he comes up big again tonight.
You've obviously coached a lot of football, Joe. When a quarterback looks left, sets left, and throws left the entire way, especially when it's to the field side rather than the boundary, does that not spell a little bit of disaster?
Yeah, a big point there that he threw to the open field, and that's a long throw, even for a 10, 15-yard gain. It gives the defense a chance to break on the ball.
And now you get a chance to see Austin Lumley bring out his unit with a double slots, eye set, Cody McCann in motion, and they look like they're going to get the ball to the league's leading rusher, which is Donkers, and he finds a seam up the left side, cuts it back up the middle, and he works his way across the midfield stripe all the way to what he looks like the Beefeater 41 for a great opening run.
Yeah, nice zone stretch on that. Donkers gets upfield and sees the opening, and he cuts back up into the middle, and for a big gain on first down.
Now, we're a couple of O-line guys up here, so we're obviously going to give them some props as we take a look at the interception.
Yeah, there's Beach. He's throwing, he gets a little pressure, throws off his back foot. Nicoletti, great bake on the play.
And now we're going to be back to live action, and you get Donkers, who picks up a first down run, which looks like it's amounting to approximately 4.5 yards, putting it in second and manageable for the Fratmen.
Yeah, same play to the other side. Wasn't as successful as it was on the first down.
And usually to the left with number 58, Devin Kozar, and number 66, Abed Abusafea, especially with Kozar being the lineman of the year in the conference, you'd expect some good push off the left side. And we little counteraction with a trap inside, and McCann looks like he gets bottled up instantly as it was number 88, or excuse me, number 98.
Yeah, I think that's Rickman, Brandon Rickman. And yeah, he's a big-time player for that defense. Did a nice job collapsing the end. They tried to get him fooled a little bit on that trap, but he stayed at home.
And that's going to bring up a long field goal attempt. You see Steve Schott, he's set there, Downer, who is the holder for him. Has the puck down placed at about the 44-yard line, which is going to be where they're going to snap and kick from.
It's a long field goal.
Snap is good. Hold is down, kick is up, and kick is wide. And now the return comes on, and it looks like it's number 31 for the Beefeaters, who's working up the right hash, and he brings it to about the 10-yard line, and that was Derek Coleman with the return. And on the missed field goal without conceding the single point, the ball is going to be set scrimmage at the 20-yard line for the Beefeaters.
Yeah, Canadian amateur rules. When you bring the ball out from deep in the end zone, it comes out to the 20.
Yeah, here in Canada, we have a number of special teams rules that vary differently. So all our viewers here on we-tv.ca, I'm sure you're familiar with the Canadian rules. But if there are any of our U.S. Friends, they might not know what the heck is going on there.
Absolutely. I'm reminded by a bunch of players in the CFL, when the Americans come up to play, they need to be coached and taught these rules.
So this time you got 3-by-2, and this time the 3 is to the field side, an inside handoff, and a nicely blocked, as it looks like it's number 32 for the Beefeaters. And the ball did look like it bounced out, and we have an indication that the ball was out. And the one referee is indicating that the ball was lost. They're going to come together and they're going to conference here.
I thought the ball was down personally, but it looks like they're going to give AKO the ball.
But that was number 33, Dwayne Stewart, on the carry. And on the tail end of the play, it was ruled a fumble, which is going to set up the Fratmen at the 40-yard line. And, yeah, it did initially look like the pile was sort of dead. And here's the replay, Joe.
So we get a nice cutback by Stewart on the play. Looks like Rondon ripping that ball out. Yeah, it might be loose.
Yeah, as he rolled over, he did not have ball in his hand, so that ball was good. And we'll give a shout out to the referees as the Fratmen line up in a double slots I set. And they're going to look to hand it off the right side to Donkers, and he finds a little crease there, and he keeps his feet driving, and it works his way for about a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, initially that looked like there's a bigger hole there, but it closed up pretty quick when Donkers entered the hole. Nice job by the London defensive corps.
And the Beefeaters welcome back a couple players who have been injured, especially at the linebacking core, and I believe it was number 25, Tyler Annan, who is welcome back, having not played the last couple games. And that's going to pose an added layer of concern for the run game because he is a talented run defender. And the Fratmen break the huddle. Once again, balanced look, eye set, show action from their slot. They roll out to the left. Austin Lumley looks to throw, and he overshoots his intended receiver, which is Cody McCann, the fullback, leaking out to the flats. So the Beefeaters defense do their job in holding after the turnover.
Yeah, nice job by the Beefeaters on that, picking up the deep receiver, then the back coming out of the backfield on it, a little delay. Austin Lumley tried to hit Cody McCann on the sideline, but no, being under pressure, was able to throw the ball away where no London defender can get it.
Now, if you were Coach LaChance, I think you'd be okay with that throw because it was safe, because worst case scenario was thrown out of bounds and incomplete. You don't want to give the ball right back, as we see Schott lining up here for, again, a 44-yard field goal, which he had enough like last time. He was just not aligned. Donker sets to the left. Snap is good, hold is down, kick is up, kick is long enough, kick is indicated as good this time. So the Fratmen, with 5 minutes and change off the clock, have now opened up a short 3-0 lead, but a lead nonetheless. And another Canadian football rule, the Beefeaters have opted to scrimmage at the 35.
Yeah, what's interesting about a field goal is there are 3 options. You can have take the ball to 35, you can receive a kickoff, or you can actually kick the ball off to the defending team.
Yeah, most people don't know that third option. I'm not sure if anyone's ever exercised that third option, but it is an option nonetheless. So now a riled up Fratmen defense is taking the field after forcing 2 successive turnovers early in the game, and now you're going to get a 3-by-2 set again to the boundary side for the Beefeaters as Beach calls for the shotgun snap. Looks to his right, throws on the spot to the corner route. Looks like it's over the top of his receiver. The intended receiver was number 87, Christian Ridley. And that is a long throw all the way over the top.
Looks like what they're trying to do is isolate 2 of their better receivers to the wide side against 2 defenders and run a little smash concept route where they run a little corner and a hook underneath that, and the quarterback just picks his choice.
Yeah, and they did ISO to Jake Nicoletti, and he's already made one big play, so we'll have to keep an eye if they keep challenging at number 6 for the Fratmen. Again, 3-by-2. Strong to the boundary side. Beach looking all the way to the right, sprints out to the right, and in the face of pressure, throws it up for grabs, and it was just off the hands of his intended receiver, number 87 again, Ridley. And Jake Nicoletti had big, wide eyes there, Joe.
Yeah, that pass was a little high. The route concept was real nice. Had a little inside receiver, runs a 15-yard comeback into the middle of the field, was open for the first down, but Beach was a little high on that. And when Nicoletti saw that ball high, he was all eyes for it.
And officially on stat sheets, drops don't actually go in a stat sheet, but that cost them a first down.
Absolutely.
And now you have the Beefeaters having a punt into a pretty stiff wind that we've mentioned, and it looks like you have Wright, who is set up deep for the Fratmen, and it is kicked in his direction. It's going to bounce out about the 42-yard line, start rolling back towards the 40, and Wright picks it up at the 40-yard line, works up the left hash, and finds his way to the 46-yard line, 45-yard line, where they'll have their next possession. And we'd like to take a minute now to thank Pizza King. Excellent pizza. They feed our crew before the games, and the pizza's provided by them. Much appreciation here at we-tv.ca. Pizza King. Order a pizza, folks. It is delicious.
Decent punt by London on that. They get the ball fairly deep onto the other side of the field, and good coverage by London.
And Austin Lumley once again brings his crew out, gets a motion over across, ends up to the balanced front. Donkers comes off the left, and that whole left side is completely collapsed, and Donkers runs across the midfield stripe all the way to the 47-yard line. And Joe, as an offensive line coach yourself and an offensive lineman, how awesome did that look?
Kozar, number 58, the left tackle, was outstanding on collapsing that entire defensive line of London, creating a huge hole for Donkers to exploit. There's no wonder why he's an OFC All-Conference player.
That was outstanding as Austin breaks the huddle again. A balanced look, fullback, tailback, and the eye set. Lumley under center, calls for the snap, once again goes to that stretch off tackle, and Donkers this side just lowers his shoulders and finds his way across the 45-yard line to the 43-yard line. Another positive gain off the left side.
And that's it. Just got to keep winning on first down. Get positive yardage, keep it second and manageable, and be able to keep moving the ball down the field.
And you made a real good point there, Joe. First down, you have to have positive yards on first down because it makes your play call, if you're Coach LaShawne's calling the offense, much easier. As Austin once again breaks the huddle. Balance set, 2x2. Snap comes, quick hitter. You get McCann inside on a little bit of a dive, who drives his feet and catches the Beefeaters off balance there, and he picks up about 12 yards on a quick hitting dive.
Yeah, Cody McCann, so tough running inside. He runs the inside dives and traps better than almost anyone, probably since Steve Bridgman back in the late 90s.
And Steve Bridgman was a load to run back in those days. As the Fratmen quickly break, McCann motions off to the right side. A lot of action, and then get Donkers working off the right side, but we get instant pressure here from the Beefeaters, who are reading that full flow, and that is number 44, the Beefeaters making the tackle. Wasim Gozayo, the linebacker. If I'm not mistaken, did he not go to Kennedy just up
Kennedy
the
front,
street?
absolutely, just on the other side of that fence, so he's played a lot of games on this field.
So you hate to see a local product leave. Good on him making the tackle, but I'm guaranteeing you pretty soon Coach LaChance is going to possibly have a counter rolled up his sleeve, as the Fratmen have only shown full flow. They come out, two-back set. McInnes comes in motion. They show action to the stretch, play action, and they find a settle soft spot inside, and that's number 3 for the Fratmen, their most reliable receiver. And that there making the catch is going to be Tommy Howes, who has had an outstanding season. He went up and he attacked and caught it at the high point.
Yeah, he's been outstanding this year, going after balls and making big plays for the Fratmen. Here we can see it, Austin on the roll, shows the ball to the running back, hold the linebackers, delivers the ball, and Howes comes down with a great play.
And that's going to set the Fratmen up 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Once again, under center, and they go away from the fullback. Donkers works his way on an inside zone running play and looks like he picks up about 5 yards, moving it just inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, again, winning on first down keeps all your playbook open on your second down play.
I know it's early in the game, but the run game has sort of picked up. If you're a Beefeaters coach, what would you like to possibly see?
Well, you definitely need to stop it and understand where they're going to run the ball. They're going to bring Donkers to the left side because that's the best side of the offensive line for AKO.
And Austin once again signaling for a little bit of motion. McCann works off the left, and he looks like a stretch play to Donkers, who just crams it inside and finds his way to a first down stick, and the offensive linemen are just pushing that pile forward. And it does appear that he has just enough for the first down. And once again, you see that inside run, the offensive lineman getting some good push, and no real answer for the first 2 steps from the
Here we go, no huddle.
And like you said, no huddle, so you're going to get a full backfield set, and you get the offensive linemen who are just pushing forward for what looks like a little wedge play.
We get a flag on the play. It looks like London probably lined up offside.
And that's a common mistake. It's either going to be that or maybe one of the Fratmen weren't set. As we await the call.
Yeah, offside against London. That'll give AKO an automatic first down inside the 5-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal, probably around the 1-yard line.
And so far, this game has been run, a couple little wrinkles in the pass. Nothing fancy for the Fratmen, and they've capitalized, or are capitalizing off of good field position in the scoring zone right here with a 1st and goal from what is marked at the 4-yard line. And the Fratmen push forward, and the signal is a touchdown for your Windsor AKO Fratmen. extending the lead to 9-0 with 4:06 left in the opening quarter. So Austin Lumley pushes forward on a quarterback sneak. A lot of confidence when you have that much ground to go.
Yeah, absolutely. You get that strong offensive line. They've been doing it all year with that tight look and just short yardage. They're going to push up to the middle and gain the necessary yardage.
So we have a whistle holding up this extra point. And now it is blown back in. Steve Schott lined up for the extra point. I believe it's Chris Deno who snaps. You got Downer with the hold. It's down. Shots up. Plenty of leg. Extending the lead to 10-0. So we're going to see the replay here, Joe.
Yeah, here they line up real quick. They got the two backs in tight, pushing hard. Big surge by the offensive line. Well into the end zone. Touchdown, AKO.
And that is a lot of beef.
On both sides of the line.
For the Fratmen. Yeah, and there it is, and that did win that short, discrete zone. The scoring zone is where you have to take full advantage of it, and the Fratmen did indeed do that. So with 4:06 left in this opening quarter, the Fratmen have already opened up a 10-0 lead, which is significantly different than their last meeting up in London a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Michael LaChance, you're extremely happy with the way this game has started. You know, you've got a couple turnovers, you got some points off turnovers, and you're able to move the ball down the field. That was about a 70-yard drive to score a touchdown. And if you get a few of those a game, you're in good shape.
And the whistle is blown in. Schott brings out his kickoff coverage unit. He's walking off his steps, about to send this ball deep. And the kick is off to the coverage unit's left, and that's number 4 once again. Travis Ryan working his way up the numbers, and he crosses the 25-yard line, and it looks like the Beefeaters will scrimmage 1st and 10 from the 27. And we're going to throw it down to our sideline reporter, Becca Luden, for a report.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here on the sidelines. The fans are riled up after that last touchdown from AKO. The coaches earlier were talking about getting the pressure on Beach. With the defense being in film all week, it seemed to work. They put the pressure on him early with that first sack, and also London's already had 2 turnovers and gone 3 and out on their last possession as well. An update from around the league, Ottawa and Hamilton are in their semifinal game in Ottawa right now. Hamilton's up 3-0. That's it from down here on the sideline. Back to the guys in the booth.
Thanks, Beck. As we come back to live action, you get Beach, who's just going to throw a quick little stop route to his receiver. That's Ridley, number 87. Good timing. It looked like Ridley wasn't even as out of his break, and the ball was on his way.
Yeah, they went right back to that play where he threw high on that last series. He was able to get the ball down into Ridley's hands and really makes the catch for what looks to be a first down.
And that is indeed the indication. It is a first down for the Beefeaters as they buy themselves a little bit of room as they approach the midfield stripe. Which, if you're the Beefeaters, you would want, I'm assuming, a couple first downs to settle down your defense, to give them a chance to get a little bit of a breather.
Absolutely. And then you want to turn the field position around.
Great point as the Beefeaters line up 3-by-2, straight drop back. Beach looking to his right under a little bit of pressure, scrambles upfield, makes one guy miss, and then works up the left sideline all the way across to the 52-yard line, picks up, across to the 48-yard line, and that's Jake Nicoletti on the tackle.
Beach had an opportunity to hit somebody deep for that would have been a touchdown. He was wide open on the open side of the field. When he broke contain, I think he might have felt he was beyond the line of scrimmage. He didn't want to force the ball downfield, so he tucked it and ran and got as many yards as he could.
And the Beefeaters making a number of substitutions, which logically means they're probably bringing in a heavy set with it being 2nd down and 1. Looks like a little bit of confusion right now as the Beefeaters, the play clock has already been wound in and they're still not set at the line of scrimmage, and that is indeed the case. You see some extra beef inside. Full house backfield, Beach under center, and he just looks like he's going to wedge it forward. And I'm not sure if he picked up or how much yardage he picked up because there was not much surge there.
Looks like he might have it if the far side line judge has the spot, he might have it. I think they're going to be short, actually.
So now, if they do call for the sticks and they are short, and they are going to ask for the measurement here, is this an automatic go for it if you're the Beefeaters?
I think for sure, being 10 points down in the first quarter, and you haven't really moved the ball. You're at midfield. You have a few inches to go if they're going to be short here. I think you have to go for it.
Okay, next question. What is your play call? They just tried a wedge, and if they are short, which they're pulling the sticks right now as we see it on our screen, and they just got the first down, so moot point. We don't need to discuss that any further.
I'm sure we
but
will
would
later
you,
on.
had they been short, would you just try to wedge it forward
Yeah,
again?
I think you go right back to it. You got to win the Canadian game. You have a 1 yard neutral zone. If your offensive line can't get a few inches, then you know what? You don't deserve that first down.
Well said, as the Beefeaters now have it at the 48.5-yard line. They remain in their heavy set. Beach under center, 4 in the backfield, waiting for the whistle to come in.
This is an interesting formation with two fullbacks tight and an I formation behind it.
And they run a power O play where they pull the guard, and that looked like it was Jake Nicoletti who came in and made a real solid tackle.
Yeah, not sure if AKO has seen this offense before, but they did a great job stuffing that inside and that power O.
And the Beefeaters make multiple substitution, likely going back to their spread set here. And like you said, a real solid defensive force unit play there from the Fratmen. 2nd down and 8. Ball's at the 50-yard line of the Beefeaters. 3-by-2 to the field side this time. Beach called for the shotgun. Looks right, throws back left on a little screen, and it is dumped over the top to his running back, and that is number 33, and that is Dwayne Stewart once again. Tackled, it looks like just short of the first down by about a yard. My guess is, and they are making some multiple substitutions.
Looks like they're bringing out the punt team, though.
Interesting call here. Well, I guess maybe with the sticks now set for us, it's more like a yard and a half. So maybe they are trying to play the field position, but they are punting into the wind. Is this a caution alert for the Fratmen defense? A good time for a fake, possibly?
Well, always it is, but I think they're going to actually go ahead and punt this, which is surprising, being down 10 and being on this side of the field.
And a little bit of confusion here from the punt unit. They have to realign some people. Now the snap finally comes, and it is indeed long and narrowly missed as Wright works up the left, catches up the left sideline in the air and crosses the 40-yard line. And we have a flag on the play, and we'll have to see what that is, if it is going to back the Fratmen up. But a nice job by Josh Wright, number 22, working his way up that left hash to catch the ball in the air.
Yeah, it looked like Seamus Neary was right there to make a block on that punt and just couldn't get his hands on it.
So now we're waiting for the indication. It is a rough play. It is a low block, or a block in the back, on the Fratmen, which is going to bring them back to their 25-yard line. So they lost a little bit of that good field position they had. The Beefeaters catch a little bit of the break, trying to force the Fratmen back deep into their own end.
Yeah, low block on any kick or transfer possession. You cannot block below the waist.
And the Fratmen line up, I set. They motion a trips to the boundary side, and they run a little quick hitter to McCann inside, trying to catch the Beefeaters in a little bit of a shift. And he picks up maybe a yard and a half. It looked like the Beefeaters were ready for that one.
Yeah, exactly the way you called it. They had that quick motion to the boundary, trying to have the London Beefeaters really react to that and then trying to hit them up underneath that.
And one of the interior defenders for the Beefeater looks like he is down, as the team physician trainer is tending to him. Not sure, a lot of the times in the middle of the pile you get those rib shots, you get that pile up inside. Maybe he's winded, could be a shoulder.
Yeah, it looks like he might have just been winded. Maybe he fell on the ball or fell on a player who had the ball.
Or maybe a 300-pounder fell on him.
Yeah, that never happens inside a pile.
We've played there, boy, it's not fun, especially if it's a fumble, Coach, especially if it's a fumble and you're in the middle of that. What people try to do to get that ball out of your hands.
Yeah, a lot of nasty stuff goes on there that no one can see.
So as they attend to this, maybe we can allude to an incident that happened, and that's number 55 for the Beefeaters, and that is Matt Long, their D lineman, who looks like he's walking off gingerly, but at least walking off under his own power. A couple of weeks ago, the Fratmen went up there, and it at the time appeared that they lost home field advantage in first place, suffering a loss to the Beefeaters up in London. and that ended up getting overturned on a illegal player. Can you briefly explain that to our viewers?
Yeah, the Beefeaters had a receiver that had played a couple games in the CIS for Western, and he suited up for the Beefeaters, and because of his CIS gameplay, he was ruled ineligible.
And you have a new running back, a slightly different style, Emmanuel Juma. Manny comes in and shows that quick speed. He didn't even look anywhere off the edge there, and you picked up 9 yards.
Yeah, Juma is actually the exact opposite of Donkers. He's the quick, scat back type. And when you want the real quick hitter, he's the guy that you go to.
That'll be the end of the first quarter.
And we have a 30.
With the score,
At the end of the first quarter, folks, we are Fratmen up 10-0 as they flip the quarter.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Baron Championship rings. This is who we are.
And welcome back to Windsor Stadium for Ontario Football Conference semifinal action between the visiting London Beefeaters and the Windsor AKO Fratmen, presented to you by we-tv.ca. And on a 3rd down and 1, not even an indication of bringing in the punt unit, the Fratmen line up, heavy set, and are going to try to go for it, and they draw them offside on a jump and a hard count. Looked like great discipline from the Fratmen offensive line. And if that is indeed the case, another mistake by the Beefeaters.
Yeah, excellent job by Austin Lumley, getting his team up to the line, getting them set, and then giving the hard count, making the London Beefeaters jump offside. 5-yard penalty gives the Fratmen a first down.
And now the Fratmen, with a first down and 10 from the 39, their own 39-yard line, are going to probably have to lean heavily on that run game, which has been successful as they work their way into the wind.
You know, it's interesting we have Juma still in the lineup. I saw at the end of that touchdown run that Donkers did come out on that last play.
And that is the one difference between Donkers and Juma. Juma gets on his track and in a hurry, and once he makes his first little step, he puts his foot in the ground and seems to maintain his speed so effectively. Here's the replay of that last run.
Yeah, here we see Austin under center. Lead block by Cody McCann. He's like, exactly right. He put his foot in the ground, got upfield as fast as he can, and he's the true home run hitter.
Under center. Quick hitter to McCann, who looks like he's trying to bounce this thing back off to the left side there and keeps his feet driving, which looked like it was going to be stuffed for maybe a yard, and he turns it into a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, good hard run by Cody, and it looks like London's doing a very good job trying to take McCann out of the game. He's been very good this year on those inside traps and quick hitters, and London's seen that, and they're doing a great job taking him out. But again, 4-yard gain on first down, that's a win.
So with the Fratmen now on the Beefeater side, 2nd down and 5, and they hand it inside on a power play to Juma, who cuts it off the left end, and it looks like he crosses the 40-yard line, enough for a first down.
Yeah, good surge again by the offensive line, running over that left side of the line. That gives them plenty of yardage for that first down. Here comes Donkers back into the game.
And now you get that slightly different style, because Donkers does have some speed, but a little bit more power. And you know he's just eager to continue building on what has been an outstanding season, leading the league in rushing. Austin Lumley brings his crew out. Looks like a full house backfield, but motion out of it. Underneath center, just a straight inside lead running play, and Donkers just fighting his way for about 2 yards as he stacked up inside.
Yeah, again, good play by the London defense, stacking it up on the inside.
So far into the wind, it's been run heavy, run heavy. Maybe it's time for a counter, get them catching overflow. We can expect something like that, because I know Coach LaChance has a few things up his sleeve as Austin Lumley brings his crew out of the huddle towards the offensive line.
Yeah, maybe a little counter or play action, get some receivers downfield holding the linebackers.
So they're in a shotgun set. McCann off to the right, Donkers leaks to the left. Straight drop back, looking over to his right, throwing it out to the sidelines. And it looks like he was trying to hit Howes. A long throw, just out of the reach of Howes. And it falls incomplete, bringing up 3rd down and 8. And going into the wind, I'm not sure if a field goal is a viable option here. It would be about a 45-yarder. So the Fratmen look like they are bringing out a coverage unit. Oh, I see Downer, so maybe they are going to try a long field goal here.
Yeah, even if House comes up with that catch, I think they were going to be short of the 1st down because the ball was just a little bit too wide.
This will be a 45-yard attempt.
So we got Chris Dennell with the ball in his hands at the center. Andrew Downer, knee down, holder at the just inside the 45-yard line. Calls for the snap. Ball is down, kick is up, lot of leg driving through, and good into this wind, and it may have had just a couple more yards too. That is a gutsy call, but it shows confidence in your kicker.
Yeah, nice job by Schott getting that ball down the field. He's been kind of up and down this year. Some games where he has been outstanding, and some games where he's missed some, and tonight looks to be on his game.
And that extends the Fratmen lead with 11:38 left in this first half. 13-0 for the home AKO Fratmen, as the Beefeaters are going to scrimmage 1st down and 10 from their own 35-yard line. And Beach once again brings his crew out. 3-by-2, lone back is Stewart. Signaling, calling for the snap, gets it, looks over to the right, looks back left, trying to find a seam play, and into triple coverage. Ball is tapped. Must have confused. His favorite receiver is Ridley, and he's looking at him the entire time, and the Fratmen are just eyeballing that.
Yeah, it looks like he's really pressing to try and throw it to Ridley. That was 3 guys in coverage that converged on the ball when the ball was in the air. So Beach is going to have to start looking off of Ridley, and you might see some other guys that are open.
So one of the first times Beach wasn't under pressure to throw the ball, and as it turns out, he just forced one in, and we're going to see the replay here.
Here we go, Beach setting up, delivering the football, knocked away by number 2, and then it just bounces up in the air. If Seamus Neary sees that ball in the air, that's an interception by AKO, and would have been their 3rd turnover of the first half, would have set them up perfectly in this second quarter.
Great shot from our camera crew there at we-tv.ca as that ball hit him flush. I think it was number 2, Hunter Mina, who it just hit him right off the head, and the ball could have just about went everywhere. It appears that the London sideline has asked for a conference from the head official. Not sure exactly why, because that just seemed like an inconsequential type play, just an incomplete pass, so I'm not sure if he needed a rules clarification about anything.
Yeah, maybe he was looking at it. He thought he was interfered with. That's the only thing I can think of why you'd want a conference at that point.
Beach brings his crew back out again, 3-by-2. Stewart leaves early, looking right all the way, throws back to the left on a little out, and it's Ridley once again who catches the ball and works laterally. If he would have turned his shoulders and worked up the field, he might have had the 1st down, but it looks like an 8-yard completion short of the first, Joe.
Again, and if he would have looked off of Ridley, he would have saw number 36 wide open in the middle of the field, and he would have had plenty of room for the 1st down, but he chose to go back to Ridley. Here we see the replay again. Again, Beach looking all the way for Ridley. You can see 36 comes through in the middle. He'll get a block on Mina here. And nice pursuit by the Fratmen defense.
And a late decision by the Beefeaters sideline, but I believe the prudent decision. You're with the wind. You got to flip this field position. This is still a lot of time and early in the game as they bring the punt unit out. And Matt Wolf with a nice high kick up to the left, and it looks like it's caught by Josh Wright, who works up the right sideline, makes one guy miss, crosses the 40-yard line to the 42.5-yard line, and that's where the Fratmen will start their next possession.
Yeah, nice solid return by Wright. Nice high punt by the London punter. Good coverage. That's a nice play all the way around.
So now the Fratmen, whose offense has pushed their way into the wind for a field goal, can try to really get some separation with a nice long drive here into the wind if they can put any points up. As you see the whistle blown in and the Fratmen breaking their huddle.
London really needs a 3-and-out here to get back into this game somewhat.
Austin Lumley remains in the shotgun. We get some motion across the formation from Howes. Looking for a quick hitch. Number 28, it looks like he was looking for McGinnis. It was a low throw. Kyle is short as it is, but you got to give your receiver a better chance to handle that.
Yeah, and that was dangerously close to being a lateral. He should have been jumping on that ball even if he dropped that. You never know what the officials, the angle that they have, they might believe that that's a lateral pass and a live ball.
Great coaching point, Joe, as the Fratmen are going to break again and we see the replay.
Here we go. Quick, yeah, it's real close, but you got to get on that football.
And a hard count again by Austin Lumley. Great voice change. His inflection there is fantastic. We hear it up here from our announcers table, and it looks like they just bought themselves a free play 5 yards in. That alone makes second down wide open again, and the Beefeaters now have to guess, is it pass or run?
That's right. Lumley, again, comes back with a bad throw, but comes up with a hard count, gets that 5 yards back, puts him in a great situation on 2nd and 5.
Back under center, double slots I for the Fratmen. Ball at the 47-yard line. Under center on a fullback counter. And McCann drives his feet forward, crosses the 50-yard line, works his way all the way to the 54-yard line, enough for a first down.
Yeah, McCann, again, hit at the line of scrimmage, but keeps his legs turning and gains another 9 yards after contact. Great run, first down, AKO.
Another little wrinkle. It wasn't the true trap. It looked more like the fullback counter tray where two guys came across. And like you said, he kept his feet moving real well as Austin Lumley once again in double slots I set. Hard counts him. This time traditional counter tray. Manny Juma bounces it outside trying to find some angle. Runs hard and picks up about 4 yards. He made pretty much something out of nothing there.
Yeah, nice job by the London defensive front taking on that counter tray, making Juma bounce the ball outside, and good support by the secondary force unit.
So right now for the Fratmen, it seems like things are working real well even when they don't appear to be. Here's our replay.
Nice job by number 5. Perfect textbook way to take on that block. Bounces Juma outside in good force.
Yeah, and that's Garrett Hemming with a nice job on the end. Double slots I again. Come right back to the counter, but they bootleg off it. Gets a key block from McCann. Austin Lumley has a lot of room, and he opts to run here, trying to make the critical yardage for the first down. And it appears he has gained enough yards for the first down. You said it earlier, wait for maybe some sort of play action or counter or boot off of it, and now we just saw that.
Yeah, great play calling by Coach LaChance. Gets him thinking counter tray, then pulls the boot on that. He has an option. If he has a receiver that's open downfield, he's going to throw it. If not, he's going to tuck it and run and get enough yards for the first down.
And a nice key block by Cody McCann, who set that edge, allowed Austin to go as the Fratmen once again come out in a double slots I. Juma in the backfield, McCann at the fullback spot. Under center, goes off the left side, and it looks like Juma has an edge, and he finds his way up the left sideline behind Kozar, picks up, it looks like about 9 yards, going to bring up a second down and short, and the Fratmen are just leaning on these visiting Beefeaters.
Yeah, and it looked like that Juma might not have had enough to get outside, but his speed just gets him to the outside.
Looks like he's short by 3 yards.
Here we see the replay on this.
2nd and 3.
Closes up, then Juma sees the outside, hits it, and gets upfield and gets as many yards as he can. Nice play by Juma on the bounce.
He didn't quite pick up as much as it looked like initially, but it is a good gain of 7 yards, bringing up second down and 3. And Donkers has returned into the backfield. Double slots I. McCann motions early left. Under center is Austin calling for the snap. Looks like he's given it to an inside zone running play to the right and stood up at the line of scrimmage as Donkers maybe picked up a yard. It's going to bring up third down and a full 2 yards.
Yeah, not much movement on that inside zone. Donkers ran into a brick wall. Looks like they might be bringing out the field goal unit. This is a win by London if they can hold them to this field goal try.
I would agree with that. With 6:42 left in this opening half, if they do convert this, it's 16. If they get a single out of it, it's only 14. It's still realistically a 2-possession game with an entire half of a quarter and a second half to play. As Downer looks to his kicker to see if he's ready. Signals to a snapper. Good snap. falls down, kick is up, lot of leg, and right through the middle. The referees don't have any work to do because that ball split those uprights right down the middle. With 6:26 left in this opening half, the Fratmen extend their lead 16-0.
Yeah, a great concentration by Schott because there was some pressure that came up just in front of him as he's got that kickoff. He was able to focus through the uprights, drive his leg through, 3 points AKO.
So the Beefeaters once again opt to scrimmage from the 35-yard line. They put the ball on their offensive left hash. They come out, Stewart in the backfield, Beach in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the field side.
I think London might have to get back to some of the run. They kind of got away from it after they had some early success.
And Beach going over the top. It looked like great coverage from the Fratmen. They took away Ridley underneath, and they had a high safety in the corner in that high coverage. It just looks like Beach is a little confused with the coverages.
Yeah, he's not getting very good looks, whether he's locked on his initial receiver right away from the snap, and that's where he's going to go with the football, regardless if they're covered or not.
That brings up a 2nd down and long, and if you're not careful, you're going to give the Fratmen the ball back in pretty good field position here. So really, you need to get your defense some rest as Beach calling for the shotgun snap again, 3-by-2, and they're going to give it inside to Gilbert on an inside quick run. Stewart just gets tripped up, and that is Chris Deno, number 13, who grabs him literally by the ankle, trips him up enough, bringing down a 3rd and long for the visitors.
Yeah, nice job by Deno on that, Phil. Even if he didn't make the play, there was 92, Dalton Lano ready to clean it up.
So the Fratmen not fooled on a 2nd and long with a just lead running play, and you're going to see Matt Wolf come back out for a punt from he's going to be standing at his own 23-yard line or so, and we have a couple men deep, and it looks like it's number 6 joining Josh Wright, who's already back there, and that is, number 8, Curtis Holmes, as a booming, spiraling kick drives the defender back. Josh Wright catches the ball. Looks like we're going to have a block in the back. He fielded it at his own 22-yard line. A gentle push, but a push nonetheless in the back.
I wonder if it might be a no yards penalty they might be calling. He caught that ball in the air, and the defensive player was possibly in the restraining zone.
Good call, good eyes, but they are calling a block in the back. I wasn't sure if he was in the neutral zone or maybe he was pushed in the neutral zone. Not sure.
That could be why, exactly.
But,
it was close nonetheless.
Yeah, so
good
the
call by the officials.
The Fratmen are going to scrimmage from their own 20-yard line, which to them, the way they're running the ball, they're probably not overly concerned. They expect 1st downs with this heavy run set. Fratmen once again take the field in a double slot eye with Austin Lumley under center, Donkers in the backfield with McCann, his lead blocker. And they just go ISO off the left side, and this time a nice hard fill by the linebacker. That's number 44 for the Beefeaters, and that's Emmanuel Apiakubi. And this young man, I saw some film earlier, and he likes to bring it. He is one of the physical guys, and you'll see here on this replay, Joe.
Well, he definitely brought it, and we'll be able to see how much he brings with it. Nice read, sees full flow, finishes the window. He sees the window and fills it, takes the running back down for a minimal gain.
After a 1-yard gain, 2nd down and long for the Fratmen as Howes moves in the full flow to the left. Austin Lumley sprinting out to his left, looking to square his shoulders and get the throw off, but rather instead eats it, doesn't want to make an ill-advised throw, takes the sack.
Yeah, outstanding play by Wasim Goizel. Sees the full roll, sees an opportunity and fills it and sprints right to where Austin Lumley is running to, not where he was at. And was able to make the tackle for a loss of about 5 yards.
So exactly what the London Beefeaters needed was a quick possession. We're going to see here on the replay exactly what you're talking about.
See that full flow, Austin on a full roll. And there's Wasim. He runs inside that hole and is able to make a great tackle on Lumley.
Shot with his feet on his own end zone. Gets a kick off, a relatively good kick, but it's going to be fielded and fumbled by the Beefeaters and then recovered by the Fratmen. It looks like it is number 6.
I think number 4, Shadi Aoun?
Yes, number 4. Good call, Shadi Aoun. The Beefeaters were going to be prime set up, catch the ball in the air, maybe fall forward for 8 yards, probably at the Fratmen 40-yard line or inside. Instead, the Fratmen now have the ball at their 43-yard line, and a third turnover in this first half.
Yeah, and that's outstanding play by Shadio. And you see that as a coach, as you run those fumble recover plays, and that was textbook. On the ball, rolled over, and it was protected the ball.
Great scoop, great job, and the Fratmen double slots eye, under center. Play action off the left side, and they're taking the shot over the top to Curtis Holmes, looking for their player to make a play, and it is intercepted.
Yeah,
good
nice
job by the Beefeaters.
Absolutely. Great coverage on the play. Lumley may have been better off to take that ball down and see what he can get with his feet, because that receiver was shadowed all the way down the field.
And that is outstanding job, and we're going to see this interception here.
We got play action, Austin setting it up, throwing it deep. Great job by that defender gaining up inside, going up and attacking the football.
And that was number 31, Derek Coleman, on that as Beach brings his crew out. Similar formation, 3-by-2. Stewart in the backfield to his right, calling for the shotgun snap. Good snap, quick throw to his right on a little hitch, looking for his receiver to make a play up the sideline. It looks like it's about a 7-yard, 6-yard pickup.
Yeah, good first down play, quick hitch, get the ball upfield and is getting as many yards as you can on first down, set up a manageable second and short.
Yeah, and that's Aaron Storer Nelson. He has had a good year. He is a talented receiver. I know in week 1, Coach LaChance was concerned, in their first meeting, Coach LaChance was concerned with his talent and his speed, but good job by the Fratmen limiting that to a 5-yard gain. So the referees indicate that we are under 3 minutes in this first half here, with the Fratmen leading 16-0 here on we-tv.ca. Beach calling for the shotgun snap. Looking to his left all the way, throws right away, and he's looking for 18, and the ball was on time, caught, and it appears he crosses the 45-yard line. That was number 18 on the catch, David Inkumsaw, and my guess is you're looking at an unnecessary roughness. Looked like a shoulder to the head or neck area.
It looked like Seamus Neary coming across, got his elbow up a little bit high, hit him in the head. And anytime you're going to hit a receiver or anyone on the field in the head, that's a 15-yard penalty. Here we're going to see it. Receiver coming up, and here comes Neary. Elbow to the head. Yep, good call by the official.
Unquestionably. Right call, not necessary, and that's going to give Beefeaters good field position as they cross midfield and they go to the hurry-up set. 3-by-2 to their offensive left. Beach gets a shotgun snap, looks right, throws on a set target, looking for number 11. It looks like his receiver catches him, intended receiver for about a 15-yard gain, and that's Jess Ton.
Yeah, just went back to that. Actually, that was Ridley that came up with that ball. They're going to the twin side, run that smash route concept. Beach gets an easy read, and he picks the wide receiver. First down, Beefeaters.
Beefeaters hustling into their no-huddle mode here with 2:25 and counting down in this first half. 3-by-2 once again. Snap comes, looks left, looks back to the right, throwing over the top in an ISO situation on Josh Wright. And it looks like Storer Nelson kept his balance, caught the ball up the right sideline, and that is a quick answer touchdown for number 81, Aaron Storer Nelson, from number 9, Josh Beach, who finally gets some rhythm and finally score, which was aided by an unnecessary roughness from the Fratmen.
Yeah, that's a huge drive by London to come down and score after, they were going to be set up, turn the ball over. AKO comes back, throws the interception, then London right back down and scores within a minute. So they're going to still chime if they can get a 3-and-out by AKO to get the ball back and try and put some more points on the board.
Real early in the game, not opting to make it a one-possession game, they bring out Wolf in the kicking unit here. Number 12, it's Spencer Bowman, who appears to be the holder. It's Matt Wolf who does the place kicking and punting for the Beefeaters. Snap is up, kick is up, and it is good, and that means the Beefeaters have now cut into that lead, making it 16-7 as we're going to see a replay.
Here we go. Looks like tight coverage up on Aaron Nelson on top of the field. Josh Wright is just under him. Never gets his head turned around until it's too late. The ball's in the hands of Storer Nelson. Touchdown, Beefeaters.
A lot of the times in this game, it's very simple. You try to get your better player or your best players in a situation where they're one-on-one, and you hope they come up on the right side. And it looked like a simple play. It's an ISO route, and the Beefeaters are right back in this despite the 3 turnovers. despite the undisciplined play and the number of penalties that they've taken. Like you said, if they can get a quick stop here and possibly any points, they are right back in this, only down 9 points as it stands with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left in this opening half.
Yeah, we talked about in the pregame that your stars have to be the stars tonight for you to come out on top, and that's what we just saw there on that play.
Wolf kicks a low driving kick, which takes a couple awkward hops, and it looks like it's 27, which is Neary, who bounces this ball up the left sideline, and he gets piled up. And it's going to be set at about the 33-yard line where the Fratmen will scrimmage with 2:08 left in this opening half.
Yeah, nice job by Neary on that, picking up that bouncing ball, because if he doesn't, that ball lays around on the ground. That London Beefeater team is coming down hard, and that ball could be still loose, an opportunity for them to get that ball.
So the referees scrimmage, blow it in. The ball's at the 35-yard line of the Fratmen. Austin Lumley comes back under center. Double slots eye set. He stays in the shotgun with McCann off to his right. Early motion from the backfield. Austin looks to get a quick throw out. He gets that quick throw out to number 80, and that is his trusty receiver. That's Cody St. Pierre, and he's just looking to find some ground from one of his most trusted receivers.
Absolutely. Just as we saw London on their last possession, that first quick hitch, get that 5 yards, get some positive yardage on first down, opens up your playbook on second down, able to continue and move the ball down the field.
And we see them once again break the huddle. This time Austin does indeed work his way under center. Double slots eye. McCann and Donkers in the backfield. Early motion from the Beefeaters, but nothing called. But they pile up Donkers after a real short gain. And it does appear that the Beefeaters have adjusted to that heavy run left set.
Yeah, that's a great job by London. After the touchdown, Donkers hasn't had too much success running the ball, so they've keyed on him pretty good. Juma's been, when Juma's in, he had a little bit more success than Donkers has on the last couple series.
So we're going to see a replay here.
Looked like defense may have jumped a little bit early and not caught by the officials, but it doesn't matter. Wasim Goizel in position to make the play.
A shot standing on his own 25-yard line, receiving the long snap. Snap is good. Shot gets a kickoff angle to the left sideline. Looks like it's heading out of bounds. Takes a hop in play. Fratmen have to give the 5 yards. They do indeed give the 5 yards, but we see a flag as the pile up of tacklers take the Beefeater ball carrier down at around the 42-yard line. So we're either going to get a block in the back or a no yards.
One or the other on every kick that you seemingly see. But I think this is going to be a no yards. It'll be, since the ball is bouncing, it'll be 5-yard variety. It'll be 1st and 10 for London. Looks to be at about the 45-yard line.
And that is indeed the indication. You get to no yards. And the London Beefeaters, who are very confident right now coming off that last series, working with the wind with 1:27 left, are looking to cut into a 9-point Fratmen lead. 3-2 to Beach's left. Inside handoff to Stewart, and not fooling anyone there as the Fratmen are sitting waiting on that inside run, trying to keep them honest. It is still a game, so a 2-yard gain from Stewart.
Exactly right. Just trying to keep them honest. You maybe hit them up inside when a Fratmen team's not ready for a run with 1:20 to go in the first half.
And again, to the line quick. 3 to Beach's left. Looking right on a quick little hitch, pump fakes, and looked like a design quarterback draw. And he does get taken down. It looks like it was 99, Adam Slickbore on the tackle. Good discipline from that rush weekend.
Yeah, nice job. Get his hands up, not allowing the ball to get off, and then Beach pulls the ball down and has to eat it or else give up a pass that he didn't want to throw.
Matt Wolf in once again to kick for the Beefeaters as we just get under a minute in the final first half. In the second quarter, and you have Holmes and Wright back. Not a lot of pressure. Kick is off, a high booming kick in the direction of Wright, who fields it at his own 20-yard line, works up the right sideline, has a little bit of green grass there, stiff arm somebody, works his way across the 35 and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. And with 38 seconds left and we already seen a strong leg from Steve's shot. The Fratmen are probably inclined to take a shot downfield here.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, you're up 16-7. You're never satisfied with the lead you have, so they're trying to get some points. Luckily enough, it looked like AKO may have gotten away with a block in the back right at the early part of that run. As the returner got upfield, looked like an AKO player maybe got a little shot in the back on the London Beefeater.
So we'll see the play call here from Coach LaChance as they break the huddle in a double slots eye. McCann and Donkers in the backfield. Austin under center. Early motion from McCann. Inside zone running play away from fullback action, and Donkers makes the first guy miss, crosses the 40-yard line to the 45-yard line. A good first down run.
Yeah, good hard run. Looked like he might have been stopped, and another good play by Wasim Goizel, the middle linebacker for the London Beefeaters, having a very good night back at home in his old stomping grounds.
And it looks like we have a timeout called.
Yeah, it looks like number 78 is down. Howley, the defensive tackle, taking a knee.
So the Beefeaters, despite the 3 turnovers, 34 seconds left in this half, have cut into the lead. As you see on our screen, it's 16-7 for the home Windsor AKO Fratmen, and having been probably statistically outplayed in almost every category, are still well within this game.
Well, we talked about it early that Coach LaChance would have been really happy the way this game started. But now when you look at it, as you said, they've had statistically a better half than London, but they're only up 9. So you would think with those yards that they gained, they might want to have a few more points on the board.
So in the second half, we're probably going to have, and we have on our screen, we'd like to thank once again Pizza King, who provided delicious pizza for our crew, and they do an outstanding job. Thank you for your support here at we-tv.ca. We appreciate Pizza King for their continued support as we come back to the screen action, and the Beefeater player walks off, again, fortunately under his own power, but favoring that left arm shoulder.
Yeah, it could be maybe a clavicle issue, something that that kept him down for a little bit for as easy as he's walking off. It's a big down by London defense. They stop this offense by AKO, or they're going to risk giving up some points to finish the half.
Clock starts up again. Austin Lumley looking for the snap. Fakes the throw and hits Juma on a little delay run as he crosses the 50-yard line, and it looks like he has just enough for the first down.
Yeah,
nice little action there.
Yeah, a little almost Statue of Liberty play there.
And we do get the indication that the Fratmen did have that first down. And like you said, a little Statue of Liberty fake, pose at the throw, and then maybe hand that ball off underneath. And Juma hit it fast.
Yeah.
And he hit it fast enough that even with the contact, he nosed the ball over the 50-yard line, giving the Fratmen first down with 15 seconds and counting in this opening half.
Here's where you might take a shot downfield.
And that shot downfield appears to be in the form of Brandon Donkers, who looks like he's making bodies miss all over the place. And it appears though the clock has run out, and I'm not sure if they're going to indicate that there is one more play, and there is not.
Yeah.
A huge run, brought it all the way down to the 30, and a great effort there, but to no avail as we see the replay here.
Yeah, sometimes your effort is rewarded. This time it's not because they run out of time, but it's a great run by Donkers anyways. He gets upfield, makes a nice cut. You know, if he goes down here, they have a shot to kick a field goal, but, you know, as a player wanting to make a play, you're trying to get in the end zone every time you have the ball in your hands. Unfortunately, time runs out on AKO, and it's the end of the half.
And as we start the halftime, you have your home Windsor AKO Fratmen leading 16-7 against the visiting London Beefeaters. So if you are going into the half right now, Joe, what's the one thing you're going to tell the team if you are the London Beefeaters?
Well, for the Beefeaters, you're okay. You've weathered the storm. They've come out and they battered you a little bit in that first half, but you've weathered it. You're only down 9 going into the second half. And so you're in good shape. You just have to continue to play your game. Don't abandon the run. Get some play action passes in there and play solid defense.
And we are going to close this half out by throwing it to commercial break.
Adding new products or services to your brochure? Updating those drab business cards? Or looking to create a striking window display? In need of some screen-printed signs for that construction site or promotional campaign? Posters, vehicle wraps, and a whole lot more. At Angel Star Digital, our expert design and production team are ready to meet all your promotional needs. For samples of our work, check out our website at www.angelstardigital.com, or you can call us at 519-969-0712. That's 519-969-0712.
The first kiss. She's thinking about a million things, like should I lean in or let him? Do I close my eyes or open them? But for him, he's only thinking about one thing. Did she have peanut butter for lunch?
Bye.
Great. My car's blocked in.
I got this. I think the parking brake is on. Geez, what's in this thing? Rocks?
Welcome back to Windsor Stadium, WeTV's presentation of OFC playoff football action. We're at halftime between the Windsor AKO Fratmen and the London Beefeaters. The Fratmen leading 16-7 at the halftime break. Adam Morrison joining us. But before we get into our activities here in studio, we're going to go right back outside to field level. That's where Becca Luden has one of the London coaches. Let's hear their comments about that first half. Becca?
Thanks, guys. I'm here on the field with Coach Ryan Clutterbuck of the London Beefeaters. Now, kind of the same situation the last time you were here, scoring just 2 minutes before the end of the first half. So what's going on the London bench right now?
We're just trying to get ready for the second half. Would have liked to have scored sooner and more often, but it is what it is, so we'll try to come out ready to go in the second half.
Now, a couple weeks ago when you met Windsor in London, there wasn't as much pressure on Josh Beach. A little bit different tonight, so how's he handling that and what's going to change in the second half?
I think, Windsor does a good job of bringing in a variety of pressures, so I don't think that's new. We have to do a better job of picking it up. Josh has played well in the first half, and if he continues to play well, we'll be okay.
And now Brandon Donkers has had several nice runs for the Fratmen. What does your defense need to do in order to hold him off?
He's a load. You got to take him down low. He's the leading rusher in the league for a reason. He's doing a great job. We just got to slow the bleeding a little bit and make sure he doesn't break a big one.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. I also have Coach Mike Morency from the AKO Fratmen with me. Now, could you just tell us a little bit about your thoughts on that first half?
Well, we came in and did exactly what we want to do. We want to be able to run the ball, and a couple weeks ago we got thrashed by these guys, so our defense is really keeping us in the game right now, and they're playing awesome. So we're happy to be up at the half, but obviously we got to score a little more points.
Now, there have been a couple turnovers on either side of the ball, more in your favor. So what's that like for you guys now?
That's a little different than in past games this year. We're happy to be leading the turnover battle right now. Austin had the one early on the game, but it's just as good as a punt that was. It was a deep pass, and we know we got to be able to go over the top on these guys if we're going to be able to score some more points.
And now what needs to be done in order for you guys to keep your lead in order to head into next week?
Keep doing exactly what we're doing. Run the ball effectively, get us in second and shorts, and be able to pass when we need to, and our defense has got to step up again.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
That's everything from down here on the field. I'll send it back to the guys in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Becca, Dominic Papa, and Adam Morrison in studio. We're going to take a quick time out here at Windsor Stadium. When we come back, Adam will break down that first half of action for us. We'll also check the out-of-town scoreboard. One other game going on in the OFC playoffs. That's Hamilton and Ottawa. We'll try to get an update for you there. You're watching OFC playoff football action on we-tv.ca.
Aboriginal youth have a desire to create, learn, grow.
No computer, no future.
One laptop, one child at a time, one simple gesture.
Give a kid a chance.
Let's help give them the tools to succeed.
Let's buy a child a laptop.
Do yourself a favor, go online, check it out.
I got a laptop!
Find out how you can help. Visit the website today.
And welcome back to Windsor Stadium here on we-tv.ca. OFC playoff action here tonight between the Windsor AKO Fratmen and the London Beefeaters. 30 minutes is in the books here at the stadium, and the AKO Fratmen holding on to a 9-point cushion. They lead the Beefeaters 16-7. Of course, the winner of this game moves on to the OFC championship game, which will be next weekend. Adam Morrison, our OFC analyst, joins us in studio here. And Adam, you know what? We talked on the pregame show, and we talked about a number of things, but one thing that really stood out to me in that first half, for both teams for that matter, maybe AKO was a little bit better with the penalties, because both these teams in the first two games, as we talked about, 25 and 27 penalties each, a lot of yardage. But in that first half, AKO was pretty solid and really didn't shoot themselves at all in the foot.
You know, not as much as I think we're used to seeing, especially against London, being a team, obviously, that there's that aggression towards now. I just think it seems a little bit more laser focused. Everyone's just really focused on the game and not, those personal rivalries and personal game situations. So for right now, they're really controlling themselves. Now we need to see that obviously extend into the second half for them to continue this momentum.
Surprised at all, Adam, about the AKO running game being established in that first half as well as it did?
I would say based on my prediction, I'm a little surprised. Obviously pleasantly surprised. We talked about the keys to the game, and one of them was to make sure that they're getting that running game in, establishing that, controlling the clock. And, it's amazing to me watching that half that the scores really not indicative of the momentum of the half, really carried by the AKO Fratmen. And, London obviously doing a few things well to make sure they capitalize on that last touchdown there.
Another thing that was very impressive on the part of AKO Fratmen, the pressure they've been getting on the quarterback, the London quarterback. And again, that was going to be key because we said at the top of this broadcast, in the pregame show as well, the best players have to be the best players tonight. Obviously, London has an outstanding quarterback, and AKO was able to really keep some pretty good heat on him.
And that's right. And they seem to be mixing up, their blitz combinations fairly well. A lot of pressure coming from the outside, seem to be attacking the right side. And we talked about a couple sleepers that are going to have to, show up. And right now we've had number 99, Adam Slickbower. I think 2 sacks in the first half, getting some great pressure as well as McDonald on the other side. So we're seeing great pressure on the end and forcing them to step up in the inside. So hopefully we continue to see that. I know London will make some adjustments on the O-line. Right now we got to make some adjustments on the blitz combinations to make sure they continue the pressure.
If you're London, of course, you take a positive out towards the end of the half. They get their first touchdown of the game. They move the ball somewhat, and they did get some offense going. And certainly that's got to bode well for Coach Vuvalidis heading into the dressing room and for the guys and saying, hey, look, we're only down 9 here. We didn't have our best half of football.
And that's right. And it looks like, when Beach had the opportunity to sit back and there wasn't as much pressure, they started to get the ball out a little bit quicker, having some predetermined routes, some slants, things like that. So we should expect to see about the same thing. Now, again, from the defensive side, they really need to keep the pressure, make sure we're getting the hands up because, Beach being the offensive player of the year, he's shown it in that last series there.
A number of turnovers by the Beefeaters, though, and we talked about the best players having to be the best players here tonight. Jake Nicoletti, what can you say about this kid? This guy comes and brings it every night, and he's one of those go-to guys, I'm sure, for Coach LaChance when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. He's a leader there. He wants that role. He embellishes it. He just lives for that role, and he's come up big already a couple of times here tonight. Not surprised, really, with that.
No, not at all. I've had the opportunity to coach, Jake at the, minor high school level, and he's always been the same thing. He's a spotlight kid, and he shows up when the spotlight's on, and the best thing is he shows up when it's not as well. So we should see more from him. anchoring that side and hopefully testing them to pass to him again.
Okay, I'm going to ask you now, Adam, to put on your coach's cap here and take us into those dressing rooms. And let's get inside to what Coach Vuvalidis is telling his guys. We talked about it, maybe alluded to it a little bit earlier here, but they're only down 9. There's still a lot of football left, a lot of ways to score points in Canadian football. What's he saying to his guys?
Well, he has to be, number one, capitalizing on momentum that was created towards the end. That has to be the biggest thing. The other thing he's talking about right now is that, this is a, I believe, 16-7 game. One score and, a field goal, they're in that game. So again, they got to come out making sure that they get that stop right off the bat, making sure they continue to do the things that are working. I find a lot of teams, they always want to test the playbook, but right now they got some things that are working. Keep piecing those together, and that's what he's got to be talking about. Is this just we got a whole nother half to play? On the flip side for AKO, they got to be talking about the dominant run game right now. How they got to continue to move that line, continue to push. And you know what? If they keep doing those small things well, we talked about the keys to the game. We should see an AKO victory in the second half.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that London will make some adjustments. Does that mean that Coach Lachance has to make some adjustments, or does he just stick with status quo here? He had a successful first half here.
Well, you know what? I think as a coach, you always have to. You have to come back. You had you didn't do everything right because they did kick 3 or 4 field goals there. We didn't score, right? So, they got to take a look at what was happening in those instances when they're close in field goal range. And a lot of that, whether it was play calling or execution, there's some things to pick apart, but it's definitely on, putting it in the end zone versus trying those, having the field goal tries.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout here at Windsor Stadium. We're going to come back. We'll check that out-of-town scoreboard. Hamilton and Ottawa playing in the other OFC semifinal game. We'll get you an update from that. We'll get you set up for second half action. You're watching OFC football on we-tv.ca.
What will your last 10 years look like? Will you be quick enough for a game of tag with your grandchild? Strong enough to embrace every moment? Will you grow old with vitality? Or get old with disease? It's time to decide. The average Canadian will spend their last 10 years in sickness. Change your future at makehealthlast.ca.
And welcome back to the Windsor Stadium, the site of OFC semifinal playoff action. The Windsor AKO Fratmen and the London Beefeaters going at it here at Windsor Stadium. Dominic Papa along with Adam Morrison. We're just a couple of minutes away from the kickoff of the second half of action. The Fratmen leading 16-7 after the first half of play. Adam, we're going to give you kind of a little second chance here. Maybe a little bit of another prediction here in the second half. AKO wins the first half. Can they duplicate second half, or do you see London winning the second half?
You know what? I think it's going to be a matter of, are we going to duplicate? And if we do, and we control the ball the way that we are right now with the run game, putting Austin Lumley in comfortable situations, I do see them coming out there with victory. And if they do remain the same, I'm going to go 30-21. AKO.
Okay, so AKO is going to get the nod from Adam this time. Of course, Adam, I will remind our viewers, did pick London earlier on in the game, so not to rub it in there a little bit, Adam, but
hey,
it's okay.
What? It hurts.
You got big shoulders. No problem. There is one other semifinal playoff game going on this evening, and that's up in the nation's capital, a tight one there as well. Close to halftime, or if not at halftime, our last report had the Hamilton Hurricanes, who are the visiting team, leading the Ottawa Sooners 10-0 there. Obviously very close there, Adam.
Yeah. Not a surprise. We know it's going to be a tight game, great defenses, things like that. I mean, I hope Ottawa's going to be able to pull that out. I think that, everything that town's been through, that city's been through, they need that victory.
All right, we'll see if it happens. We're set for second half action, so we're going to go right back outside for the call with Badia Kwas and Joel Manerick.
Welcome back to Windsor Stadium for Ontario Football Conference semifinal action between the London Beefeaters and the home AKO Fratmen. The third quarter just kicked off with the Fratmen leading 16-7 and the Beefeaters receiving the kick and scrimmaging at their own 25-yard line. With me is Joe Malarnik. Joe, some thoughts of the first half?
Yeah, AKO came out, dominated that first quarter, got some early scores, and London was able to get a little momentum back, scoring late in that first half to bring this game to within 9 points.
So John Beach brings his crew out with the wind as the Fratmen opted to defend an end, and he looks to set up under some heavy pressure. He throws it into the ground as it looks like they were trying to set up a little screen to Stewart, well defended by the Fratmen.
Yeah, nice decision by Beach. There was a receiver, Dwayne Stewart, the running back, was in the vicinity. He threw it at his feet to avoid the sack.
Which is going to bring up a second down and long to open the half for the Beefeaters, who really are really in the midst of this game despite a number of miscues and statistically outplayed in the first half.
Yeah, and that's what London's got to play off of and be happy that they're within this game as much as they are.
Beach brings his crew in his traditional shotgun 3x2 set. Stewart leaves early in the backfield. He's looking left, looking for his number 1 receiver, Storer Nelson, and great coverage. 2 men in the same area because Nelson was there, but so was Ridley, and not probably by design.
Yeah, it looks like, again, Beach is staring down his receiver, drawing coverage to those receivers, and coming up empty.
So Matt Wolf is going to have to kick with his feet at about his own 10-yard line here. And Curtis Holmes and Josh Wright are set at about the 45-yard line of the Fratmen to try to field this punt. Snap is good. Wolf gets a pretty good high spiraling kickoff. Wright's driven back inside his own 35-yard line. The ball bounces. He fields it at his own 25-yard line, works up that same side hash and crosses the 35-yard line to the 36. So an excellent job by Matt Wolf getting a nice high spiraling kick, driving the Fratmen return team back and really limiting any return to about 7-10 yards.
Yeah, it was outstanding kick by Wolf. We talked about it just before half, just personally between us, that, there we got a good shot of the crowd. Bundled up as it's starting to get a little bit cooler here at Windsor Stadium, but a good crowd nonetheless taking in this outstanding game.
And the Fratmen are set. Double slots eye, early motion from McCann. Under center, and you get Donkers, who's going to bounce it off the right-hand side away from full flow action, driving his feet behind his blockers, and that's DeMarcus Ware. And I believe that's Benson, number 67, off the right side. So they pick up what looks like to be about 6 yards, so a good opening play to start the second half for the Fratmen.
Yeah, nice hard run by Donkers. Looked like he was hit at the line of scrimmage and kept turning his legs and got upfield and got a nice 6-yard gain.
So the Fratmen motion from a trip set to a double slot eye. McCann motions off to his left. And they once again run inside zone, and he is squared up. Donkers is squared up by number 44, the linebacker, but not after he picks up about 4 yards, which is going to bring up a real interesting call here with it being 3rd down and 1 and into the wind.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to be stopped well short because he hit again at the line of scrimmage, but Donkers, being so strong, was able to spin out of that tackle and get a few more yards out of it. Looks like the offense still in the game. They're going to go for it.
And no hesitation from the Fratmen as they get set. Short yardage, they wedge forward, and Austin Lumley easily picks up behind their big bodies. And I guess it's not a decision when you do have that kind of success with those bigs inside.
Yeah, they're just blowing it up inside, getting 3 yards off of just a straight quarterback keep, and well enough for a first down. Keeps that drive alive. Donkers on his way out. Looks like maybe Juma coming in.
So the Fratmen do indeed line up with Juma in the backfield. And nearing the midfield stripe here, 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line. Early motion. Juma off the left-hand side, looks to bounce it outside, makes a jump cut, works his way all the way back the right side. Looked like there was a little bit of a face mask, but nothing called. And he reverses course, but to no avail. Only it looks like it's a short loss, actually.
Yeah, almost escaped that those tackles by the London Beefeaters, but was just not strong enough to elude the last one. If he did, he had some room to break it to the outside. Here we're going to see that on replay. Lumley handing the ball off to Juma, sees there's nothing to the left side, tries to cut it back, and just loses his feet, and then the cavalry comes for the London Beefeaters.
Donker's back in the game. You got Austin Lumley in the shotgun. McCann offset to his left, early motion from Donkers to the left. Austin drops back, looks left, throws on 3 steps, and is trying to hit his intended receiver, and that was Cody St. Pierre. Good break by the defensive back to break that up, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, number 10, Beekhouse, almost had a beat on that, and if he could have caught that in full flight, he was gone. But the pass was just a little bit low for him.
And if that name sounds familiar, I believe that's Mason, his younger brother, who Mason was the CJFL Player of the Year last year, who is out for the season recovering from a torn ligament in his knee, and he has sadly missed this year.
Absolutely. Having a Mason Beekhouse on your defense improves you dramatically.
Nice high punt into the wind by Shot, which is going to force the Beefeaters, who fumble it again, but fortunately recover. But you get a big hit from Chris Deno as number 28 for the Beefeaters. Hakeem Johnson mishandles the punt, but does recover it himself as the ball is going to be marked just short of the 40-yard line, and the Beefeaters have some good field position.
Yeah, this time they get a little lucky where the ball doesn't bounce as far forward as it did in the first quarter, and he was able to fall on it. It took a big hit, but retained possession.
Almost another critical error by the Beefeaters, but they do recover as they line up. Stewart to Beach's right, 3-by-2 to the field side. Fratmen showing some pressure, but back out of it. Do bring one linebacker, and it's Dalton Wilkinson with a hit as they throw it up to 87, Christian Ridley, and he comes down with the jump ball at the Fratmen 40-yard line, excuse me.
Nice job by Ridley, tracking the ball all the way through his route. The AKO defenders never got their head around to see the football, and Ridley goes up and makes a great play. And we're going to see that on replay. Beach sends his guys in motion. Again, he's locked. He's throwing to Ridley all the way, and within 3 players, Ridley's the one that comes up with the ball.
Beach takes a shotgun snap, sprints out to his right, looks to throw on a spot, and he does indeed throw, but it falls incomplete as it was dropped by, looks like, number 30, Kevin Pera.
Yeah, good pressure by AKO on that, making Beach rush the throw, comes up on that, because they only had two players out there covering 3 receivers, and then when Stewart comes out, that's 2 on 4. Nice job by Beach seeing that, dumps it off to Stewart, and great effort by Stewart getting as many yards as he did.
And the Beefeaters keep the offense on the field. They come into their heavy set, 4 men lined up in the backfield. 2 offset fullbacks. They motion out one of the receivers, and that's Ridley. And they're looking to throw it to him on an ISO set with a big gamble on the play. And that gamble pays off as the undercutting defensive back mistimes his jump. And that was number 27, it looked like, Seamus Neary, who mistimed that play. And you have a touchdown for the visiting Beefeaters. Excuse me, that was number 26, and that was Brian McCurdy Jr. who undercut that. Needless to say, it cut right into the lead with 8:26 left in this 3rd quarter. So maybe a poke in the eye happens all the time.
Or a loose contact lens, maybe. Something along those lines. But I'm glad you're the one that's saying his name, because I'm not going to give it a shot.
Yeah, I understand hard names. My name isn't the easiest one to say in the world, but the young man is walking off under his own power, and you know the Beefeaters want to see that because he is definitely needed. As he has been one of the premier run stoppers in this game for them, even though the Fratmen have had some success. If there has been somebody making tackles, it's him at or near the line of scrimmage. Austin Lumley under center, trips to the side, hard count, but it looked like there was some premature movement, and it looks like this time it was on the offense, but we'll have to wait to see who they're going to call this on as the officials come together.
It looked like number 66 may have gone early. Let's see how they, yep. Left guard, Ahmed Abusafea, moves just a tad early.
We're going back 5, up 10, a net gain of 5 for the Fratmen, and it's going to result in an automatic first down because of it. So you see the referee indicating the false start.
You see there the 2 captains that were out there was interesting. You see Kozar for AKO, who's not a local player, playing for the hometown team, and then you see Wasim Goizel for the captain for the London Beefeaters, who's a local product playing for the away team.
And that is something that we don't see quite often, representing a home team, a visiting type, an out-of-town type captain, and both teams do have it. Fratmen under center, hand the ball off to Donkers, who makes a nice jump cut in the backfield, finds some seam up the right sideline, picks up the first down and more as he's running hard, and he crosses the 35 all the way to the 30-yard line as the Fratmen are making the Beefeaters pay for that objectionable conduct. First down and 10 from the 30-yard line of the Beefeaters.
Yeah, nice power O. Ahmed Abusafea pulls around, gets a seal block, gets the edge for Donkers, and he fires.
Leaning on you quarter after quarter.
And that's exactly right. Eventually, you're going to wear down. You can only hit a wall so many times with a sledgehammer before it caves in, and that's what we might have seen here.
Nowadays, I usually pay somebody to use a sledgehammer.
Was there and got the first down. That's the same play that we saw earlier where Goizel got in and made the sack. He couldn't get there in time this time before Lumley made the play.
So the Fratmen break the huddle, and once again, they're going to be under center. Slot set. Austin calling out, plucking a hold. Shot set to try to convert this extra point. Snap is good. Hold is down. Kick is up. Kick is good. And you get an immediate response into the wind after that touchdown. A gamble by the Beefeaters. And we're going to see the replay here.
5:30 left in the third quarter.
See Lumley under center. McCann goes early, stretch play, and then the hole opens up and Donkers easily into the end zone for the touchdown.
And the one thing you always try to tell your running backs is press that hole and make that cut on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and he did exactly that. He got on his track. Once he crossed the line of scrimmage, he saw something and went back, and the Fratmen have recaptured a 9-point lead with 5:30 left in this third quarter, and they are battling into the wind right now. So the wind factor is only going to be in the favor of the Beefeaters for maybe a couple more possessions. So if it stays like this is definitely going to favor the home Fratmen.
Yeah, outstanding response by AKO on that, going down and scoring and restoring that 9-point lead.
Shot with the kick, drives it right between the numbers. And it looks like it's handled and fumbled again, and this time it's just fallen on by number 24, Travis Ryan. And that was number 28, Hakeem Johnson, who's already fumbled once. He's fumbled and recovered one, and now he mishandles it again, and it's pinning your team back. Those are critical errors right now, Joe.
Yeah, huge errors, and I think if you're Coach Vuvalides, you might be thinking about replacing him back there because you cannot afford any of those mistakes. Luckily, they fall on that ball, but now they're first and 10 at their own 15-yard line, and that's not where you want to start.
Quarter coming that eye set. McCann shows action to the right, and they look like they're going to stretch it to Donkers to the right, and there are two defenders just waiting there for him, yet Donkers still makes a yard.
Yeah, he's hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he just bowls his way across the line of scrimmage for a gain of 1.
To go into his arms as the Fratmen have to punt.
I think if you want to make a coaching cut-up of how to take on the counter trade, he's done it twice tonight with textbook.
Well, the Beefeaters have everyone lined up at the line of scrimmage. They are looking to come after it, and they have indeed made a substitution on the back end. Shot kicks the ball.
Catches the ball in the air. Great coverage by London. Great punt by Wolf. And it's going to be first and 10. AKO at their own 32-yard line, 33-yard line.
And I misspoke. It's not the final quarter to all of our we-tv.ca fans. It is the third quarter, so with 1 minute left, the whistle is being blown in, the clock starts. My guess is you're going to see a little bit more run again just to try to get out of this quarter, and if you have to punt with the wind in the start of the fourth quarter. Lumley calls for the snap. Straight ISO play. And you get you get Donkers, who makes a cut and powers his way across the 40-yard line for a 6.5-yard gain.
Yeah, I think you're seeing that AKO is adjusting to that defensive front by London. London's putting their defensive tackles in double three techniques where they're playing outside shade of the guards, and they got the two linebackers inside. So there's a big bubble on the inside that looks really enticing to run there, but it closes up quickly. But when you have Donkers running as hard as he...
That? I got that in a bit of a fight in '98 there, JJ.
Nice.
I got Raymond, he's always bragging. He knows I got him beat over here with this one. I got blindsided. Look at that. That's nothing. Look at this. Look at this. Half moon. Here we go.
the final 14 and a half minutes of this game, and that means it's going to be a tall task for the pass-heavy Beefeaters and the run-happy Fratmen, who are just content if they could run this game out on the ground. As you see Austin Lumley in the shotgun. Howells motions over to 3-by-1 set. Fullback to his left. And they fake and they bootleg around. McCann sets the edge for him. Austin attacks the line of scrimmage and finds his receiver Howells for a big first down completion as he crosses midfield all the way to the Beefeaters' 45-yard line.
Great throw by Austin Lumley. On that rollout, is able to square his shoulders up, find Howes coming across the field for a big first down to keep this drive rolling.
And the full team effort. You see the complement of both blockers setting the edge, Austin attacking the line of scrimmage. Great job by the Fratmen across the board as they go back to their slot set with McInnes deep. You can't even see him in our screen right now, but he'll motion into it right there. Under center, and they try to run trap. And McCann actually gets bottled up pretty quickly as it wasn't blocked very well. First time I can say that about the Bigs. It looked like they missed an inside down block.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough in the defensive front that London is playing, that double three technique. It's a really wide block they're trying to get, and if they get a linebacker comes up inside that middle, he's unblocked.
So a half-yard gain brings out 2nd and long for the Fratmen as we just got under 13 minutes in this final quarter with the Fratmen holding on to a 9-point lead. Austin Lumley in the shotgun. Slightly different alignment as they get McInnes on the line, outside receiver St. Pierre motioning down, and a quick throw to McGinnis, a sideline out-breaking route, and Austin underthrew him. Never really set his feet, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and obvious punting situation.
Yeah, nice job by number 5, Garrett Hemming, getting his hands up. He wasn't going to get there, but he got his arms up in the way of the flow of the pass. And
in their player in. Beefeaters again, 3 to the quarterback's left. Beach takes a snap, and this side does hand the ball off inside to number 27. And that is Joel Klubine, who's in, and he is not the starter because Dwayne Stewart was the starter, and he was in for most of the game. But early in that 3rd quarter, he was down on a knee, and it appears he hasn't returned.
Yeah, and he's on the Beefeater sideline with his helmets on, but doesn't seem like he's going to be in the game anytime soon.
So we got a 2nd down and 7. And Beach looks to throw, sets his feet, throws left quick, and just out of the reach of Dylan Grondin as Jake Nicoletti makes the tackle, but not until after the Beefeaters move the chains once again.
Yeah, it looks like it's a favorable spot for AKO. He looked like he was at the 35-yard line when he caught the football, but the spot by the official is short.
So they're going to call for the chains here, and the London Beefeaters, if they are short, have already struggled a little bit with some of their short yardage plays. But like you've said countless times already, in Canada, you expect to always make that 1 yard. You mentioned it every time AKO has successfully converted it.
Now remember, last time that London was in this situation, they had Ridley motion out of the backfield, and they hit him for the touchdown for their first touchdown of the game. So there's still that AKO would have to be cognizant of.
Unquestionably, as they pull the chains tight in our camera, and you do see a first down. So now the Beefeaters are set up, at least in scoring zone. You'd like to believe that they're in a position where they might come away with points. As it stands now, it is a 2-possession game with the score being 9, a difference of 9 with 8:49 counting and about to count as the Beefeaters hustle to the line of scrimmage and try to salvage every second. 3 receivers this time to Beach's right. And Beach looks left, throws left right away, and he finds his intended receiver. And was that Ridley again? It looked like number 87 on a quick little curl route. Squares in, and he is shaking his head and pounding the ground, and that doesn't look good if you're a Beefeaters fan or a Ridley fan.
No, he's had about 9, maybe 12 receptions in this game so far. He is unquestionably Beach's #1 target, and he was looking to go to on every pass play.
And it doesn't appear he's going to be able to get up and return to play, at least for this play, as he's favoring, it looks like, his left leg in some capacity.
Very astute, that's what they're looking at. And he seems to be in quite some pain as well.
And that's the back of the leg. Maybe it's a hamstring. Maybe it's a knee. They're testing for a knee. You see him turning it out a little bit. And now they're just doing some comparative anatomy, looking at his other side to say, okay, this side's stable. How does it compare to this side?
Yeah, let's just see how, if it's much more loose than the other side, would determine whether it might be some sort of tear. I mean, it's way too early to determine that, but they'll get a good idea of what it is.
And we're going to take a short break here.
Take one empty field, round up a group of players, add 3 bases, plus 1 home plate, throw in a softball, and add an umpire.
Play ball!
It's not hard to get a game of softball going, and to keep it going from the time you're 4 till you're 84. Softball. Get in the game.
1 out of 7 children across Canada are at risk of going to school on an empty stomach. That's why Breakfast Club of Canada provides a healthy breakfast to school kids nationwide every day, which can help to build a bright future for Canada's children. But there are still many more children who need our help. So please help us provide breakfast to the children who need it. Donate now on our new giving platform, ICanGoWithout.com, and visit breakfastclubcanada.org for more information.
And welcome back to all our viewers watching here on we-tv.ca. We are here in Windsor, Ontario, Canada with live Ontario Football Conference action between the 4th place 4-4 London Beefeaters, who are trailing the number 1 seed Windsor AKO Fratmen by a score of 23-14, as we still have Christian Ridley on the ground, and they're tending to his knee, which it appears quite serious with the length of time he's been down, Joe.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. They're going through the full gambit of tests, checking the ACL, the PCL, the MCL, all the ligaments in the knee, seeing if there's any major damage to them. Now they've rolled him over to try and get him up, and he looks like he's going to get up on his own power, which is good to see. But unfortunately, it does not look like he might be back in this game.
And he, by far, has been Beach's favorite target, so now the Beefeaters are going to have to rely on someone else, and my guess is that's going to be number 81, Aaron Storer-Nelson, who is their big play receiver.
Yeah, don't be surprised if they come up with a run here. They got Dwayne Stewart back in the game. The key to this drive is coming away with points, and any kind of points.
So motion towards line scrimmage, fake inside. They're going for the home run right after the injury, right away. And they were looking for, was that Storer-Nelson?
Yes, it was.
It was Storer-Nelson. And if that ball was thrown on target, I believe he had a step and he was in position to make a touchdown
Just
catch.
outside the outstretched arms of Storer-Nelson. Would have been a big catch if he would have came up with that.
So as you said, they are in position to get some points here. Critical points here being they're down 2 scores. The Fratmen now, you would think, would like to bring this ball out of the end zone, because even giving up the single point makes it a 1-possession game, and you have the wind and you have a run set, so you have a field goal attempt here from Wolf, which is going to be about a 38-yarder. The kick is up, the kick is placed, and the kick is indeed good. So under the pressure, the Beefeaters cut into the lead, making it 23-17 for the home AKO Fratmen with 7:41 left in the game. And now the Fratmen nurse a 6-point lead, which obviously a touchdown converted for the Beefeaters would give them a victory now.
Yeah, nice job by London coming away with the 3 points on that, losing their top player late in that drive, but come away with the 3 points to bring it within a touchdown and a converted touchdown of taking the lead. And I believe AKO has chosen to return.
Yes, they have. I believe the Fratmen have opted to return, but for whatever apparent reason, the ball is set on the wrong double lines here. The ball should be on the other side of the field.
Although, there is that rule. They could choose to kick off if they wanted to, but I don't know why you would want to.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. You're right. It's a puzzling rule. So you have Matt Wolf, number 2, with the ball set on their right hash at the 45-yard line, with the Fratmen opting to set up a return here as Wolf has to kick into the wind. Expect a low liner, maybe 10 feet off the ground, because that's all he's done thus far as the whistle gets blown in. And the ball is kicked, and he does get a driving kick, which extends all the way into the end zone, driving Curtis Holmes into his end zone about 4 yards deep. But he brings it out and has some running space, and he's going to work back up the right sideline as he battles across the outside and does indeed get taken down. And now the Fratmen are in an inevitable situation, or not a favorable situation, being pinned inside their own 10-yard line. And this time, the Fratmen mishandle and take a gamble.
Yeah, sometimes as a coach, you got to go over that with your players. The ball goes in the end zone. Sometimes you want to give that up. You know it's a single point, but you get the ball out to the 35-yard line. Now you're in the shadow of your own goalpost. The pressure is on to get a couple first downs, so just to punt the ball away to change the field position.
And that point in the framework of it might not be as big because it's still a one-touchdown game. 5 and 4 might not be too big of a difference, so maybe they would have been better served if they did get it. But Austin Lumley comes under center. That double slots I set with Donkers and McCann in the backfield. Takes a snap, is going to stretch it off to the all-pro side. And then when you have a guy like Donkers who now is going to break this out the right sideline, and he has a lot of running room as he breaks and crosses the 35-yard line, stays on his feet until he gets all the way out to the 40. I guess the mistake by Curtis Holmes or the entire return team, or even the decision to make them kick, is a moot point as the Fratmen now have a first down at the 40.
Yeah, outstanding job by the AKO offense. It was just like the last play of the first half when they win off the left side and Donkers stretches it out and then breaks it back. Here we're going to see the replay on this. Great blocking. Donkers on his track, makes his cut, and then sees open field, and he's off to the races.
And now Donkers handles the ball again off the right side here, and he gets stacked up, picking up about 3 yards, which is going to bring up a second down and 7 with just over 6 minutes left in the final quarter of this Ontario Football Conference game, presented to you live on we-tv.ca.
Yeah, a good hard run by Donkers, but again, not as much success going off the right side as he has been going off the left side.
And in no rush, Austin Lumley brings his troops to the line of scrimmage. Second down and 7 from the 41-yard line. And they go back to the outside on the left, and this time it's Juma who is met by number 44. And that is, again, Emmanuel Apia Kubi, who made a big hit.
He's definitely made his presence felt tonight. Here we see it again. Lead blocked by Cody McCann, looking to power row. And then number 44, I'm going to leave his name to you, comes up and makes a huge stick.
If there was such thing as a challenge flag in this league, I'm pretty sure Coach Vuvalidis might have thrown it there, because that hit could very well have dislodged the ball as shot lines up at his own 28-yard line. Good snap, immediate flag as he gets a high booming kick, and it's back all the way, caught by number 23 for the Beefeaters, and that is Nick Morrisut, who gets tackled immediately and piled on. But we have an immediate flag. Oftentimes, immediate flags are one of two things, alignment or personnel.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be too many men against London. They had a guy come late off the bench running onto the field. So the far side threw the flag.
And if that is indeed the penalty, you're going to get a first down because it's 10 yards. And it is...
Or do they call offside? I didn't see that preliminary report. I didn't know if he went to his hips with his hands or to his head.
Well, they're talking to the...
So it's showing that it's going to be a 5-yard penalty. So it was an offside against London. So as you mentioned, it was an alignment issue where they were into the neutral zone. So they're asking Coach LaChance if they want to go with that 5-yard penalty at the line of scrimmage and re-kick it, or take it the play as it is.
And it looks like it's going to be declined, so they're going to take the kick and and they're going to walk it back. And we're going to send it down to Becca Luden for an injury report.
Thanks, guys. Christian Ridley limped off the field after getting a helmet to the knee. He was limping around on the sidelines, tried to jog on it, but was moving slowly, looked like he was in a lot of pain. The trainer hasn't confirmed anything yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see him again back on the field. As for the Hamilton-Ottawa game, Hamilton's still up. Now it's 28-0 in the fourth quarter. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
And thank you for that report. A missing key to the puzzle here for the Beefeaters as they try a jet sweep action to number 24, Travis Ryan, and the Fratmen were well prepared for that as they drive the running back for approximately a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, without Ridley in the game, they're trying to do a few different wrinkles. They came across with that jet sweep, and they had a loss of 5.
So you're going to see the Beefeaters with a second down and long. Obvious passing situation here, but without their primary target, Christian Ridley, number 87. So Beach looks to his left, eyes left the entire way, tries to throw over the top and finds Stora Nelson on the sideline, and it does appear that he caught the ball and was in bounds and looks like he's just short of the first down, but making it a manageable third down if they choose to go for it, which it appears the coaches haven't made a formal decision because the offense stays on, and yes, they are going for it now. Oh, I stand corrected. The offense walks off, and they're going to bring the punt unit.
Yeah, Stora Nelson on that play runs a comeback, but he didn't gain enough yardage when he was make that catch to get the first down. You got to know where the sticks are and get beyond that when you come back for the football.
And for sure, and we'd like to take this second here from everyone here at we-tv.ca and everyone, quite frankly, pay our respects to the fallen soldiers. Ottawa, our capital, was hit with a fallen soldier, and we do appreciate all the bravery from our armed forces. And you see the kick here bouncing back, and it looked like that was Matt Wolf trying to recover it, but it looks like the Fratmen, number 2, handled that ball, and that's Hunter Mina as opposed to Matt Wolf. We do have flags on the field. We're not sure who those are on, but we're going to get this thing hammered out. But the Fratmen did indeed recover that, but they were almost caught off guard because Matt Wolf is an eligible receiver.
Yep. On that, that's going to be a no yards. They got to throw the flag for Matt Wolf getting into the restraining zone. But it looked like there were a couple other players as well within that 5 yards. And also side judge John McDonald threw his flag earlier in the play. So we have multiple fouls on this play. So it looks like they're waving off the no yards.
But they are indicating a unnecessary roughness against the Fratmen, which is to come back the Fratmen up 15 yards. And there's a new rule in Canadian football with respect to the no yards call.
Yeah,
if an eligible cover man is inside the restricted area and another player might be inside but making an attempt to back up, they pick up that flag because he didn't influence the play. And then that's picked up. Now you get them backed up. The Fratmen still have pretty good field position, as you see Austin Lumley and the offense at the 36-yard line going back to their trusty left side and leaning on Donkers and the left side of the offensive line to pick up 6.5 yards.
Yeah, and we talk about it as coaches, you always go into, you have your 2-minute offense and you also have your 4-minute offense. When you put your 4 minutes offense in there, the idea is just to ground it out, gain first downs. You don't need the score, you just need the clock to wind itself down.
And as offensive linemen ourselves, you really want to lean on these guys and really prove your mettle here. This is when it really counts the most. Late in the game, first downs on the ground. Austin Lumley, eye set. Hard counts them, no one jumps, and you get Donkers who makes a jump cut, but does get stacked up about 1.5 yards short as he crosses the 45-yard line. His eyes were big as he looked to try to cut that back against the formation.
Yeah, he had an opportunity to gain some yardage, but a nice job by the interior of that defensive front by London, stopping Donkers a couple yards short of the first down. And this is going to force AKO to punt the ball. You can't give up the ball here on your side of the field with a 6-point lead under 3 minutes to play.
And I believe both teams have both their timeouts, so this last 3 minutes, as we're going to get signaled in here, is an eternity in this country with the Beefeaters again, as you see on our screen, have 10 men across. And you have Coleman and Ryan back. Shot standing at his own 30-yard line. Play is blown in, 2:55 and counting. Snap is good. Shaw gets the ball off under some pressure, but gets a nice high kick sailing to the sideline in the direction of Coleman, who catches it at his 30-yard line and then takes a hit and is tackled at approximately looks like the 31-yard line.
Yeah, almost a late hit coming in there by number 2.
That's Hunter Mina.
Yep. It was very close, but he, obviously he wasn't late because the referee did not throw the flag.
Yeah, and that is painful because it was an exposed back. It's one of the areas that is completely unprotected, and you'll see here on the replay.
So he tight ropes along the sideline, keeps his feet in bounds, and then gets tripped up right here, and then there's the hit. Oh, you know what? Leading with the helmet, they could have called that. Wait, leading with the head.
Back to live action. Beach dumps the ball off to his running back, Stewart, who looks like the ball is on the ground. It is fumbled, and it looks like it has been recovered by the Fratmen. We're going to wait for the official signal by the referees, and the head referee is indicating second down, so he was obviously down by contact, which is going to make it 2nd down and 3, but Stewart is down on the ground.
Yeah, we didn't get an initial a call by the far side official on whether he was down or what that was a live play. I couldn't hear if their whistle had gone either, so obviously AKO would have preferred that play to go on and they recover that football. But otherwise, it's an 8-yard gain by London. Good play on 1st down, gets them 2nd and short.
And Coach LaChante's asking for an explanation, and now they're going to sort of come together and maybe talk this over. I'm not sure if it's something that they can or are interested in reversing, but it appears that the indication is going to stand. But we do have the injured player down. With 2:35 left on the clock, the Fratmen nursing a 6-point lead. 2nd down and 2. The balance of both teams' seasons pretty much on the line here if the Beefeaters can march it and score, effectively killing the clock. As you see, once again, we have a big thank you goes out to Pizza King, feeding our crew. Much appreciated for all your support of we-tv.ca from Pizza King.
You know, this hurts London. Another one of their weapons, their top weapons, it looks like to be coming out of the game, and he seems to be shaking up pretty good.
So you are going to be placing offensive coordinator shoe right now here, Joe. 2nd down and 2. You got 2:35 left. What do you try to do with this particular play?
Well, first off, you know, you've got 2 downs to gain those 2 yards. You definitely do not want to get a loss of yardage on this play because you need to keep it 2nd short. If you throw an incomplete pass, you got 3rd and short, you're still have your full offense in play.
And we're going to take a short break as the London trainers tend to the injured player.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Baron Championship rings. This is who we are.
Welcome back to Windsor Stadium here on we-tv.ca for Ontario Football Conference semifinal action. With 2:35 left in the game, the London Beefeaters trail by 6 in a 2nd and 2 situation from their own 40-yard line. Quarterback John Beach takes the shotgun snap, looks right, and quarterback draw trying to pick up the 1st down, but a flag comes out in the area of holding. And that could very well be one of the biggest penalties we've seen this game.
And interestingly, it came from the side judge on that. Typically the holding calls, especially when they run up the middle, it comes from either the referee who's behind the line of scrimmage or the umpire who's directly behind the defense. Yeah, Dare we say that might be a makeup call maybe on that fumble?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I see the umpire was the one who's walking the ball off right now. He put the flag back in his pocket, so it might have been called from inside. Yeah, I think that's the case, and what a big, costly penalty. You go from 2nd down and 2 with everything on the table, and like you said, 2 plays to pick up just 2 yards to now 2nd down and 12 with the clock now held at 2:18.
Yeah, exactly what London did not want to happen.
And you mentioned that you do not want to go backwards on that play, and that's exactly what they did. Beach, 3 receivers to his right, sprints out to his right. We have an early flag as they throw that smash corner route, and you get Josh Wright, who easily intercepts the ball, gets his feet in bounds. We do have a flag. Oftentimes that is an alignment procedural issue. We're wondering if that is going to be an offsides on either team. But the Fratmen are celebrating like it is on the Beefeaters. But we're waiting for the indication, and it is against the Beefeaters. That penalty is declined, and the Fratmen defense once again comes up with a huge play.
Yeah, huge play that could ice this game if they come away with any kind of points.
And my guess is that route is for Christian Ridley.
Absolutely.
He has run that smash corner route a number of times, and this time the receiver looked like he jammed that up and got over the top of the receiver or defender instead of under him, which allowed Josh Wright to easily step in front of it, handle the ball cleanly, unquestionably getting his feet in bounds. And now the Fratmen, with 2:12 left in the game, 1st down and 10 at the Beefeater 41, and all they need is 1st downs and that clock motioning. Go back to the left side, which they're trusting that they're going to get the ball to Donkers. Some instant pressure from 55, the defensive tackle, Matt Long, who was down earlier but appears back and healthy.
Yeah, outstanding play by Long, slicing through that offensive line and catching Donkers just as he's crossing the line of scrimmage, making it 2nd down and 9 yards to go. Big play here coming up by the London defense. I think maybe if you're AKO, you might look to go play action pass here and try and hit them.
So once again, in no rush, you get Austin Lumley. He's going to be looking to snap this ball probably with about 3 seconds left in the play clock. Gets under center, takes a snap. ISO, Donkers finds a seam and pushes his feet, and looks like he has enough for the 1st down. Away from fullback flow, catching the Beefeaters, jumping to the fullback action, going to the McCann side, and Donkers going left once again, finds 9 yards and a critical 1st down.
Yeah, and Donkers gets bounced around, turned around, driving his feet, driving backwards to gain those last couple yards for the touchdown, or for the 1st down, sorry. Here we see it again. There's a spin and just backpedaling. That backpedal gets him enough yards for that 1st down.
And that time you saw Johnny Murzin get on number 44, the stout linebacker. So Austin Lumley again in no rush, gets under center, tries to run that power row to Donkers, and he finds a seam up inside following Ahmed Abu Safeya, and it looks like he has picked up another 1st down here, and that is huge. But unfortunately, it's Donkers who's slow to get up, and you do not want to see that, but he is up under his own power as we're going to go to replay.
Again, and we see that ISO play. Nice job getting up into the hole and gaining upfield and powering his way to another AKO Fratmen 1st down.
As we wind down here in OFC action with the home Fratmen leading 1st and 10. A minute left in this final quarter. Donkers going off the left side, finds an edge, turns it up the field, follows his blocker, stays in bounds, spins sideways, gets all the way down, and we're waiting for the indication, and it is a touchdown. The Fratmen have found the end zone, and we have a flag which we're looking to see. I'm guessing there is some chirp, but the indication was a touchdown, and that will seal it for the home team.
Outstanding job by Donkers. He's just been a man among boys tonight, leading this AKO Fratmen to this 29-17 lead with 55 seconds left to go in this OFC semifinal.
And we do have the indication of an objectionable conduct against the defense, so that penalty will be tacked on the kickoff, which is going to move the Fratmen right to the midfield stripe for the ensuing kickoff. As Donkers is down, he is taking a knee. I'm guessing he's more winded than anything else, because my guess is he's approaching 200, if not exceeded 200 yards rushing.
Absolutely, and a lot of carries. He might have 30 carries in this game, and that's a lot of wear and tear on your body.
And a credit to those bigs up front. That offensive line has done a really, really good job. They've set up the blocks. They've driven through. Very few times were they in the negative. They've made 1st down very easy, which means you're not going to ask Austin Lumley to do too much. mind you, there's still 55 seconds left. London does have a couple timeouts, but you're about to make it a 13-point game as we're going to see the replay here on the touchdown.
We see Cody McCann in the lead block, gets the seal, nice block. And then Donkers gets to the edge, makes the turn, and again, backpedals his way into the end zone and for the touchdown and the 2-score lead by AKO.
And now we see a nice close-up view of the extra point convert. High snap, handled well by Downer. Shot gets that ball up and good. And now we got to make sure that nothing crazy happens as we get a flag from the head referee, probably trying to send a message right now saying, guys, we've had a relatively clean game from a chirping standpoint. Let's not have anything go crazy. There's already an objectionable conduct to be enforced against the Beefeaters. Now we're going to get a countering objectionable conduct likely against the Fratmen. And now you're going to see a 30-17 as continual chirping as the Beefeaters walk past the Fratmen bench. You never like to see this. You want to see some sportsmanship to finish this game here.
Yeah, you just can't worry about this stuff. You've got an OFC championship game next week to worry about. This game is, for all intents and purposes, over. So anything that that results in ejection from you, you're out of the game next week. So just be quiet, walk away, and take this win to the bank.
And like you said, the OFC championship in balance, and it appears based on our latest report with the Hamilton Hurricanes in Ottawa winning 28-0. It appears the short ride from Hamilton down to Windsor is going to be the trek. And you know the Hamilton Hurricanes are looking to avenge last year's home loss to the Fratmen in the conference championship. And the Fratmen are looking to defend home field and their current OFC championship crown.
Yeah, I think that's the game that really everybody wanted to see in that championship.
So Steve Schott's going to kick where he normally kicks off. Those offsetting penalties. Put the ball with 55 seconds left. Schott kicks it deep down the right side of the return team and mishandled once again. That's 24, Travis Ryan, who gets bottled up and tackled inside the 20-yard line. And a tall task, 47 seconds left.
There is a flag.
Likely. Oh, we do have a flag on the
Looks like
field.
I think it's offside against AKO on this play.
Flag on the play.
So probably if you're the Beefeaters, you want them to kick again. That tired coverage unit, go back and kick. Because really, if you're going to have a chance, maybe if you return one and then an onside kick, that's your best likelihood.
Yeah, that's
now.
really your only chance to get back in this game, because if you choose to take it down there, you've got to go 90-plus yards for the touchdown, onside kick, get the ball back again, and go down and score. So the chances of returning a kick, not that they're much better, but incrementally they are better.
Yeah, and the framework of this game, you're spot on with that. That 5-yard walk-off forward isn't going to do them anything, so let's 5-yard walk-off backward and hope a tired coverage team, even one person loses their lane integrity, and before you know it, a quick score, 15, 17 seconds maybe off the clock, and something crazy has happened.
Crazier things have happened in this game, so you just got to play it out.
So Schott now will kick off from the 40-yard line, and they will try this all over again.
You might want to maybe dribble this down there, just kick it low to the ground, make that ball bounce around, waste some time on the clock.
And a high driving kick again in the direction of Ryan, who mishandles it again. And he picks it up. He has a little bit of a seam, but not much of one as he's tackled as he crosses the 23-yard line. So my guess is if they would, if they would have taken the penalty, they probably would have been right there anyway. They just lost 7 seconds, but it's a gamble you have to take.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny. Little things in this game mount up on top of each other. How many times have they dropped these kicks that have cost them yardage? And, you know, it's just things that you work on. They're fundamentals you work on in practice every day, and you get into a game, you know, big-time game, and then, you know, it just goes awry.
Yeah, and this is a little odd. Looks like the head referee for in the game is talking to the Fratmen in their entirety. He's probably just giving them a polite warning saying, guys, Let's not have anything, because we are going to call it tight from here forward. Play it on the level. Beach with 3 receivers split out to his left. Sprints out in that direction. Looks to throw back to ISO to Stora Nelson, but he's double coverage and he's under some pressure as Anthony McDonald misses that sack. But you do get number 92. It looks like it's Dylan Lano who comes in and makes the sack.
Yeah, and when you've lost your 2 of your top 3 threats on offense, you know, your only guy that you're looking at is Stora Nelson, and he's being double, triple covered on this side.
So it appears the mountain is too tall to climb here as 20 seconds and counting start to wind this down. And we'd like to thank all our viewers here for tuning into we-tv.ca, enjoying semifinal action here in Windsor, Ontario, as the Fratmen look to defend their crown here once again at Windsor Stadium next Saturday against what appears to be, we can't confirm yet, but what appears to be the Hamilton Hurricanes next week, with 3 seconds left in the game. One last play for the London Beefeaters, but the Fratmen do take care of business, win the turnover battle, win the ground attack, win the first downs. The final horn is sounding.
Yeah, they might just take a knee here, knowing that the game is over, and just finish it up.
London is huddling up, so it looks like they've opted to run a play, which they are entitled to do, and they are indeed lining up for that very play. So the Fratmen just have to maintain their discipline, fall down, don't run a play, don't touch anybody, let whatever happens, let them go for a 100-yard touchdown run. Just don't get yourself in a situation where there's any kind of added altercation. And that's the final play of this Ontario Football Conference semifinal, presented to you by we-tv.ca, with the home Windsor AKO Fratmen coming away victorious 30-17 over the London Beefeaters. And now they will host Windsor Stadium, 7 o'clock, the final between the Fratmen and the winner of the Ottawa and the Hamilton game, which as it stands now from our latest report appears to be Hamilton. And as you alluded to earlier, that is the matchup most people in the OFC wanted to see. Some final thoughts of the game, Joe?
Just outstanding effort by AKO. You know what, we talked early in the game about playing right on that edge and never falling over to the dark side, and they were able to hold themselves and played hard right to the end, and they came away with a nice 30-17 victory, earning themselves a chance to get into that OFC championship and bring another championship back to home.
And this is going to be the first time in a handful of years that they get to host the conference championship. The last time, again, it was a trade back with Hamilton. Hamilton was able to come here and beat Windsor. Windsor went to Hamilton last year. If it is indeed Hamilton, Windsor gets an opportunity to defend their home field and their home crowd. And we are getting some confirmation right now that it is going to be the Hamilton Hurricanes, and we're going to see them here in Windsor next Saturday night at 7 o'clock. And we are going to throw it to a break right now, but stay tuned here on we-tv.ca for the post-game show.
Imagine a place to climb, to tumble, to fly, to run, to glide, to achieve, where a sense of health, friendly competition, and growth all come together. Can you imagine that place, that destination? We have, and we're building it right now in Windsor, with a planned development of almost 200,000 square feet of athletic playground, and that's just on the inside. Central Park Athletics, some of it's already here, the rest is coming soon. Imagine that.
Like our champions, we know what it takes to win. Every day we put on our uniforms and we strive to be the best. Ring after ring, we keep practicing until it becomes second nature. Our craftsmen have put in thousands of hours to master their trade. And when things get tough, we make the adjustments needed to stay on top. Baron Championship rings. This is who we are.
Adding new products or services to your brochure? Updating those drab business cards? Or looking to create a striking window display? In need of some screen-printed signs for that construction site or promotional campaign? Posters, vehicle wraps, and a whole lot more. At Angel Star Digital, our expert design and production team are ready to meet all your promotional needs. For samples of our work, check out our website at www.angelstardigital.com, or you can call us at 519-969-0712. That's 519-969-0712.
Windsor Stadium and OFC playoff football action here on we-tv.ca. Dominic Pop along with Adam Morrison, our post-game report. A very happy Windsor Stadium as the Fratmen prevail here this evening. They move on to the OFC final. They win here over the London Beefeaters tonight, 30-17. We're going to go right back out to the field. That's where our Becca Luden has a couple of post-game interviews. Let's throw it out to Becca.
Thanks, guys. I'm here in the field with Dylan Grondin of the AKO Fratmen after their 30-17 win over the Beefeaters. So lots of emotion that last minute of the game. So what all was going on your bench and on the field?
Oh, man, we've been there before. We've been there down the stretch of games before where it was a one-score game. Well, we were up by 2 scores there. But we just stuck to our game plan, and we prevailed. They just beat us 37-0 last game, and we had a chip on our shoulders. We had to go out there and get the win, and I'm very excited to go to the finals. So.
Now, Hamilton just won 28-7 in Ottawa. Last year, you saw them in the finals again, but this time it's at home. So what are you looking at for that next week?
Oh, it's a blessing to be at home. Our fans are great. We're obviously great at home, as you could see. I'm excited to be back home and win a championship in front of our fans. So.
All right, congratulations. Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you.
I'm also here with head coach Mike Lachance of the AKO Fratmen and his 2 kids. So congratulations on the win. How's that feel for you right now?
That feels pretty good. I was pretty nervous during the week. My 2 kids kept telling me to be confident because we were the better team. They were right. But you know what? We're playing London. London's got a great team. They got a really powerful passing game. They shut us out last time we played them, and we had our work cut out for us. But you know what? The guys play with a Wolfpack mentality. We talked about that kind of analogy of being a Wolfpack and playing as a team, and everybody's important. And they played today. They played real hard, and that's why we won.
Now, I talked to Dylan about all the emotion that happened in that last minute of the game. So what was that like? How'd you keep them level and calm them down?
You know what? Our guys are pretty veteran, savvy veteran. We've got a lot of 23 and 24 and 22-year-old guys, so older guys. And, you know, we don't have to do much at that point. The game was over. London was obviously upset that we took control and it kind of ended it on that last drive. And that's what happens. Emotions spill over sometimes. We kept our cool. That was good.
And now Hamilton just beat Ottawa in Ottawa. They're here next week, so a little bit about that preview from you.
Well, you know what? Hamilton's one of those organizations that seems to be in the finals every year or every other year, and Jason Hayes does a good job with his staff. They've got a great organization. We got our work cut out for us, but home field advantage is huge. It's a crappy field, but it's our crappy field, and we play well here. So.
All right, thanks, Coach. Congratulations. That's everything from down here on the field. Now back to the guys in the studio.
All right, great stuff, Becca. Thanks for your hard work this evening. Obviously, a relieved head coach, Mike Lachance, Adam, but you know what? He talked about it on the pregame show, and he said the running game is going to be huge for this team, and Brandon Donkers was just that, 237 yards here rushing tonight.
Oh yeah, I mean it's unbelievable. He was definitely, he had the vision on. He was hitting the holes, and it seemed like even if he got hit at the line of scrimmage, he was carrying it for 2, 3, and 4 yards. So it was definitely, the offensive line stepped up, great blocks. Cody McCann, some great blocks on the edge. So all around a great effort. But, Donkers was really running bonkers there.
There we go. We knew we were going to get that one tonight. On the flip side of the ball, though, you got to give credit to the AKO defenseman as well, though, Adam. You had the all-star quarterback in the London backfield, and really, at points he got a couple of nice passing plays put together, but really didn't have that consistency or even the rhythm that I'm thinking he would have liked to have. And that goes a lot with the pressure that the AKO Fratmen put on him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, in that instance, as when he had the time, he made the plays. Mm-hmm. And when he didn't, he didn't. And we knew that was one of the keys coming in. So, great quarterback, great offense. But, today, AKO stepped it up. The DBs kept things tight, kept blankets on them. Good receivers are going to make good plays like Christian Ridley did, but it's unfortunate he went down. But, he came out with the victory. So we move on and we face Hamilton.
Yeah, we'll get into that in just a second. How much of the experience do you think, Adam, was a factor in this game tonight?
Well, it has to be. Even Coach LaChanze mentioned it. You got the 22, 23, 24-year-old players, and, those are the players that are going to carry just the right attitude, the right swagger, if you will, through and create the right maturity in the environment. So hopefully they did that, and obviously they did tonight, and they carried through with the W.
Well, you alluded to it just a moment ago. Hamilton was victorious tonight in the nation's capital. They knocked off the Sooners by a 28-7 score, so that sets up a rematch of the OFC Championship game from a season ago. The only difference this year, the game is right here in Windsor with the Hamilton Hurricanes, Adam, and obviously home field. Nice thing to have. That's what the Fratmen wanted. And you have a rematch of, I would have to say, probably the best two teams in the OFC.
Yeah, I would think so. And I guess the one nice thing is, we know they're both, defensive-heavy teams. They're both going to be run teams. But what we have is we have the home field advantage, and now we have the momentum coming in. This game created that momentum that AKO needed and solidified it in their minds that they are that team that they thought they were. They just have to repeat it.
All right. Well, they're going to have a chance to do it next week. That game will take place Saturday. We don't have a time established yet, so what you need to do is check out the WeTV website. Go to we-tv.ca. We'll have some information as soon as we get everything confirmed, but no doubt about it, the AKO Fratmen will host the OFC Championship football game here next Saturday at the Windsor Stadium against the Hamilton Hurricanes. So all's good in Fratman land.
Yes, sir.
All right, good stuff. Great job tonight, Adam. Appreciate
Thank you very
all your
much.
help. Also want to thank our play-by-play team, Badia Quash, Joel Manerick, the hard-working crew here at we-tv.ca, again, bringing you this presentation. So on behalf of everybody here at we-tv.ca, this is Dominic Papa wishing you a great night. Once again, the Fratmen win against the Beefeaters by a 30-17 score. We'll see you all again very soon.